Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Leslie Pool Field in Olive Branch, Mississippi, where it's a battle for 6A supremacy in the Magnolia State. Tonight, the South Panola Tigers battle the Olive Branch Conquistadors, the defending 6A champions. We welcome you in. Greg Gaston alongside Trevor Davis. A beautiful night for football here in Olive Branch, Mississippi. And this one should be another classic in this long line of battles between these two foes. South Panola leading the all-time series 27-10. They had a 10-game winning streak in this series snapped last year as Olive Branch not only won that game 24-6, but went on to win the 6A state championship in Mississippi with a perfect 15-0 record. So Trevor, tonight Olive Branch looks to improve to 6-0. Meanwhile, South Panola tries to avoid a third loss in 6 games. Obviously a big game for both.
This matchup is aptly named, Greg. It is a great American rivalry and perfect for this series. And South Panola is yet to lose to a team from the Magnolia State, so they feel like they're undefeated here. And we're looking for an amazing football game with beautiful weather for it tonight.
South Panola started off the year by winning at West Point 12-10, but lost a couple of games along the way, getting beat up by Hoover 35-10 in Batesville. They defeated Gulfport 34-6, then lost at Bentonville, Arkansas 41-6 before last week destroying Horn Lake 55-3. They are led by quarterback Rip Kirk, but defensively it's all about Tony Connor.
And Tony Connor, Olive Branch has been trying to block him since he was in the 10th grade, and I don't know that they've done it yet. He is all over the field. He will make an impact, Greg, in all 3 phases of the game tonight.
As I mentioned, Olive Branch a perfect 5-0, 3-0 at home, 2-0 away from home. They have scored 185 points, have given up only 122. Their first victory of the season against a very good Meridian team, 31-28. They beat Tresvent from Memphis, 38-14. They also have a win 42-19 over Smyrna. They won at MUS, a good battle with the Owls from Memphis, 43-33. And then last week, they edged out South Haven 31-28. So certainly they've been tested a few times.
The Madison Central victory, the MUS victory, and the South Haven victory were all hard fought for Olive Branch. So I don't think there's going to be much nerves on that side of the football tonight.
And Olive Branch led by the crafty senior Sam Kraft. He is a Memphis commitment. He'll play football, and he also hopes to walk on and play basketball for Josh Pastor's team. Really, Kraft is the mainstay for this Olive Branch offense.
You know, Sam Kraft is an elite point guard, but many don't know how good he is at playing quarterback. And his progress over the first 5 games has been dramatic. You can almost see it happen. He's growing up before everybody's eyes.
South Panola and Olive Branch, this one should be a dandy. The Conquistadors at 5-0, looking to go to 6-0, looking to defend their title this year. There will certainly be Welcome back to Leslie Pool Field in Olive Branch, Mississippi, as we continue our pregame show. Get you set for tonight's battle in Mississippi in the Class 6A division between Olive Branch and South Panola. Let's talk about the coaches. Scott Samsel for Olive Branch, a former Conquistador who led the team to the state championship last year, and Lance Pogue for South Panola. South Panola, of course, one of the all-time great football programs in America. In fact, in 2010, Lance Pogue was the National Coach of the Year at one point, and this includes the previous coach, I should say, for South Panola before Pogue joined in 2006. They went on an 89-game winning streak, which is the third longest in football history in the United States. Lance Pogue picked up where everybody left off, and that's a winning program.
And the problem with an 89-game winning streak is that it creates monstrous expectations. South Panola fans are used to not only winning, but being up with the game out of reach in the first quarter. And so I'm not sure many people would trade places with Coach Pogue, but I'm going to tell you, he deserves that National Coach of the Year from 2010.
Last year, 9-4, they lost in the state quarters to Meridian. Again, it's not something that fans of South Panola are used to.
Not at all. They're used to winning every game in the playoff, but Meridian is known for its defensive power as a defensive powerhouse. And tonight we have contrasting styles, Greg. We have South Panola's strong defense going right up against that high-octane offense of Olive Branch.
And we mentioned that the quarterback leading the way for Olive Branch is Sam Kraft. It's Rip Kirk for South Panola. He's a Tunica Academy transfer. On the season, he's thrown for 5 touchdowns and has completed 50% of his passes. You know South Panola for being a bulldozing type team with big running backs and big offensive linemen. That's certainly the case again this year. But Rip Kirk is capable of throwing the ball.
Rip Kirk is tall. He can see over that offensive line. He's at least 6'4". He's got good size on him. It takes more than one defender to bring him down most of the time. When he sees the field and has time to set his feet, he's fairly accurate as a passer.
Olive Branch, 15-0 last year, defeating Petal 35-34 for the 6A title. What a game that was in Jackson. And I know this community is sky high about their conquistadors.
That game swung at the end on a defensive penalty. The greatest defensive offsides in Olive Branch history actually won them the state championship game on a field goal attempt by Petal that missed because of Olive Branch jumping offsides and making them re-kick. But let me tell you, it seemed like the whole town showed up for that game in Jackson last year, Greg, in December.
When we come back from a timeout, we're going to talk about the 100th anniversary of this high school. Olive Branch celebrating 100 years in existence. We'll do that in just a few moments. Tonight's contest between Olive Branch and South Panola is being featured as one of the 2012 Great American Rivalry Series games, broadcast on the internet across the nation and around the world as part of the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network, presented by the United States Marines and iHigh.com. We want to give a special welcome to all the servicemen and women around the world who are listening to this broadcast. We appreciate all you do and hope you are enjoying the game.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
Today's game is presented by the iHelp Loan Program from SLFC.
During today's game, we're going to give you the tools to help you find your college, scholarships, and grants that you can have just for applying.
Enjoy the game, and we'll see you later on to put your game plan in motion.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola pregame show on the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marine Corps. And remember, you can watch the broadcast of tonight's game on the internet at greatamericanrivalry.com. Greg Gaston alongside Trevor Davis. We're at Leslie Pool Field in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Before the break, Trevor, I was talking about the history of Olive Branch. They are having their centennial anniversary this year, 100 years for this high school.
And this school has a long tradition of not just football, but educating a great community. And it's hard to talk about the history of Olive Branch High School without mentioning its longtime legendary principal, Mr. B.J. Chain. The local library is named after him, and he was in the principal's chair the greater part of 50 years here.
Wow.
And so we owe a lot to Mr. Chain. He's dead and gone now, but his legacy lives on.
It is a central part of this community, this high school, and everybody who has gone through this high school. So many people have graduated from here and continue to live in Olive Branch or the surrounding area.
Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm an alumnus who decided to live here. It's a great place to live, and it's been a fantastic school over the years, and now it can takes its place as one of the powerhouse football schools in the entire state of Mississippi.
When we come back from the break, the keys to the game between South Panola and Olive Branch. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola pregame show on the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marine Corps. And again, remember, you can watch the broadcast of tonight's game on the internet at greatamericanrivalry.com.
The Great American Rivalry Series. 48 classic matchups nationwide. The biggest moments under the brightest lights. Hardcore great American football the way it was meant to be. In the stands, then on the field. Be a part of the action when the greatest show in high school sports comes to a town near you. The Great American Rivalry Series. Presented by the United States Marines. From Eye High. Who's your rival?
The Marines for selecting tonight's game as part of the 2012 Great American Rivalry Series. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise? The national anthem tonight will be sung by the Olive Branch Choir Sapphire. Ladies and gentlemen, the Great American Rivalry Series would like to take a moment to honor the top scholar athletes from each school. As part of the series, we will be presenting each player with a college scholarship in recognition of their academic achievement and athletic excellence. To recognize those athletes that work hard on and off the field as role models, the Great American Rivalry Series is proud to honor the senior players holding the highest academic standing from each team. From Olive Branch High School, the senior athlete honoree is Zachary Robert Ware.
Welcome back to Leslie Pool Field in Olive Branch, Mississippi. We turn our attention now to midfield as we honor our Great American Rivalry Series student athletes. These students have achieved success both on the field and in the classroom. Representing Olive Branch High School is Zachary Ware and Clayton Sibley from South Panola. Congratulations to Zach and Clayton, and thanks to the U.S. Marines in attendance tonight for presenting the scholarship awards to these fine young men. Greg Gaston alongside Trevor Davis in Olive Branch as we get set for the undefeated Conquistadors, the defending Class 6A champions in Mississippi, and the South Panola Tigers at 3-2. Trevor, let's talk about the keys to the game. Let's start with Olive Branch, and obviously taking care of the football, not giving South Panola extra opportunities is vital.
Olive Branch has an offense that has to stay in front of the chains, and both teams tonight, Greg, really want to establish the run, even though they want to score a lot of points. Running does that. And so we'll look for that early on, the battle in the trenches from the offensive lines.
Sam Kraft means so much to this offense. Let's talk about him.
Sam Kraft is such a weapon, and sometimes Olive Branch's best plays are when the secondary has the receivers covered up and an open lane appears for Sam to run in.
South Panola, surprisingly, not a lot of big plays this year, but they're always capable. You have a pretty good statistic about touchdowns for South Panola.
Well, South Panola's played 20 quarters of football and has scored 11 offensive touchdowns this year. Very uncharacteristic of them. They have had a couple of touchdowns in the kicking game, but we'll see tonight if they want to up that touchdown total dramatically.
And, of course, big plays don't always have to come on offense. As you mentioned, the kicking team, special teams, also defensively, they wouldn't mind a couple of pick six or a fumble return here against the Conquistadors.
I'm not convinced that South Panola hasn't scored more on this field on defense than they have on offense over the last 10 years.
And then Tony Connor, he's a guy who is the number 7 ranked safety in the country. He's the number 1 ranked player in Mississippi. He's looking at Alabama and LSU and Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and he could wreak havoc defensively.
Tony Connor is one of the best high school football players I've ever seen, Greg. And ever since he made it to the varsity in this series, he's been a player that Olive Branch has had to account for. He will make a big difference in this game early on.
And that's your keys to the game. Again, tonight's contest between Olive Branch and South Panola is being featured as one of the 2012 Great American Rivalry Series games, broadcast on the internet across the nation and around the world as part of the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network, presented by the United States Marines and iHigh.com. We want to give a special welcome to all the servicemen and women around the world who are listening to this broadcast. We appreciate all you do and hope you're enjoying the game. And you are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marine Corps. Don't forget, you can watch tonight's game on the internet at greatamericanrivalry.com.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back to Olive Branch, Mississippi. What a huge crowd assembling here at Leslie Pool Field. We are just a few moments away from the opening kickoff of tonight's game. But first, let's take a look at the starting lineups for the teams. Starting with South Panola, we'll talk about their offense led by Rip Kirk, the junior transfer from Tunica Academy. 5 touchdown passes, 50% completion ratio, and 639 passing yards. The offensive line from left to right, Justin Barksdale, Dion Mix, who's a very good one, In fact, ranked number 10 as far as offensive guards go in the country. The center is Terry Boyd, Terrence Malone, the right guard, and Darian Rayford is the right tackle. The wide receivers, DeAndre Harris and C.J. Leland. Also, Jalen Lee, the tight end. In the backfield, it is Ladarius Strong, number 1. You'll see an awful lot of the fullback Tyler Beard. And don't forget Tony Connor, who's a great two-way player. For Olive Branch offensively, Sam Kraft, number 1, is the starting quarterback. On the offensive line, left to right, Chris Phillips, Davon Milan, Jordan Hall, Aaron Priester, and Chase Johnson. The wide receivers are Malik Mayweather and Jamil Collins. The running back is Jap Payne, and Dontavis Bruce is the slot receiver. Meanwhile, we look down on the field, and both teams coming to the center of the field. The coin toss presented by the honorary captains and Sergeant Smith and Sergeant Greenwood from the U.S. Marines. And while that's going on, we take a look at the defensive lineups for both teams. For Olive Branch, along the front line, Isaiah Taylor, Darian Abston, Michael Harris, and Devontae Hall. Josh Cooley, Fred Walls, Devontae Davis are your linebackers, along with Alfred Dickens, number 4. Keep an eye out for him. The left corner is Dontrell Nelson. The right corner is Bradley McCurdy. And the free safety is Jamil Collins. Number of these players, you've heard me say both for offense and defense as they go both ways. And finally, the defense for the visiting South Panola Tigers. Matthew Davis at left end. Quandez Lee is the nose guard. Darrell Davis, the defensive tackle, and the right end is Javon Norris. The rover is Deshaun Lindsay with LaKedrick Flowers, the middle linebacker. The weak side linebacker is the aforementioned Tony Connor. The left corner, Tavis Flowers. The right corner is Ephraim Kitchens. The strong safety, Jotavius Turner. And the free safety is Brady Smith. So we are just moments away. Trevor, as we watch the coin toss, I should say, your expectations for tonight's game?
My expectations, I tell you what, I don't know if it's my expectation, it's my hope. I want a barn burner tonight, Greg. I don't want one of those 12-7 games. I want one of those 35-28 games going up and down the field, but that hardly ever happens in this series. Someone will play defense tonight.
South Panola wins the coin toss. They will defer to the second half, so Olive Branch will get the ball to start this game, and we'll see what that explosive offense can do.
And I fully expect, Greg, Olive Branch to come out and attempt to get the ground game running first, kind of counterintuitive to what South Panola may be expecting, and then try to hit one deep to Dontrell Nelson.
Once again, we want to remind everybody tonight's contest between Olive Branch and South Panola is being featured as one of the 2012 Great American Rivalry Series games broadcast on the internet across the nation and around the world as part of the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marines and iHigh.com. We'll take a quick timeout, come back with the opening kickoff of tonight's game.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back to Olive Branch, Mississippi. It's just across the border from Tennessee in Memphis, Tennessee. It's a suburb of Memphis, but Olive Branch, well, they are in the Mississippi public school system, and this Conquistadors football program is at the top of the list. The defending 6A champions, which is the largest group in the state of Mississippi. South Panola once was the darling of 5A, winning back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back, 5 straight state championships, but then they moved to 6A, and the beat kept going.
Well, they started 6A, and Olive Branch and South Panola were 2 of the teams that were the original 6A in Mississippi.
And then South Panola dropped to 5A, went back to 6A, which they are a part of right now. Again, South Panola at 3-2 in desperate need of a victory. if they are to catch Olive Branch and make some noise. Still plenty of the season to go. Meanwhile, Olive Branch, they could go to 6-0 and 2-0 in the region. That would drop South Panola to 1-1 in the region. As I mentioned, Olive Branch will get the football first. That means Clayton Sibley will be kicking off for the South Panola Tigers. Again, coached by Lance Pogue in his 6th season with the Tigers, his 16th season overall. 3 of his 5 seasons have resulted in state championships. Meanwhile, Scott Samsel, the head coach of the Olive Branch Conquistadors, in his 7th season, 66-16, a 1979 graduate of Olive Branch.
And
Two of the best coaches certainly in the state of Mississippi.
And Coach Samsel will do all the play calling for Olive Branch tonight. He might even have to draw one up in the dirt. We'll have to see.
One of the assistant coaches on Scott Samsel's staff is John Cooley, a former head coach at Horn Lake, the team they beat last week, and also, or I should say South Panola beat last week, and also a former head coach in Memphis at Ridgeway, won state championships. So not bad to have John Cooley on your staff as well.
I asked Coach Cooley the other day how the talent here compares to his best teams in Ridgeway, and he said man-to-man, just as good.
Josh Cooley is the son of John Cooley. You'll see an awful lot of him tonight. Again, it's number 49, Clayton Sibley, kicking off from the 40.
Kraft and Nelson are back deep.
Sam Kraft does it all. The quarterback also back for kickoff returns. He'll be involved, I believe, in punt returns as well. And it's a pop-up kickoff that'll go to the 28-yard line, and a fair catch is taken there. That's where Olive Branch will go to work from their own 28, wearing the gray uniforms with the yellow helmets and yellow spikes. Meanwhile, it's South Panola in the white jerseys with the red lettering and the black helmets. We start at the 28 with Sam Kraft calling the signals. 39 of 84 is his completion ratio. That's 46.4%. 5 interceptions, 5 touchdowns, 665 yards passing. He's also rushed for 542 yards and 9 touchdowns. Kraft in the shotgun, rolls to his right, fires downfield, and that one goes through the hands of number 10, Malik Mayweather, and incomplete.
And Olive Branch moves the pocket on the first play and gets Sam Kraft out in space. A little inaccurate on the first pass. I'll chalk that up to jitters.
Looked like some pretty good protection to allow Kraft to roll out. He can stay in the pocket. He'll tuck and run. There'll be some quarterback draws. There'll be some options. They mix it up with Sam Kraft. Again, 6 foot, 195-pound senior who is committed to the University of Memphis to play football for Justin Fuente and to play basketball as a walk-on for Josh Pastner. 2nd down and 10 for Olive Branch. Trips right, and here's a quick pass. Goes out to Mayweather. Makes the catch. Gets a block. Stutter step, but he is taken down at the 30. Did he lose the ball? Will they say the ground caused the fumble or not? We have no call from the official. It looks like it will be downed at the 30-yard line as that pass is completed, or tackle made by Jatavius Turner for South Panola. Pick up a 2 yards on the play. 3rd down, and we'll call it a long 8 from the 30-yard line.
It's exactly where Olive Branch did not want to be starting off this game, Greg. 3rd and long behind the chains.
This is when South Panola, you would think, can pin their ears. They're moving around the defense. Kraft in the shotgun. Back in the pocket, has plenty of time, looks deep, overthrows a receiver, nearly picked off by number 37 for South Panola, as that one went in and out of the hands of Ephraim Kitchens. 4th down for Olive Branch, and they will be forced to punt. So good defense starting the game for South Panola.
And a rarity, Greg. 3rd and 9, and South Panola only rushed 3 and drop 8.
Zach Weir, speaking of dropping, will drop back at his own 20 to punt the football for Olive Branch. 15 punts for Weir on the season. He averages 40 per punt. 58 is his long, 3 inside the 20, so he's a very good punter. Meanwhile, back for Olive Branch or South Panola to receive at the 38-yard line is number 2, Quandez Lee. Snap is low, it bobbles, it goes right back to Weir, who picked it up. Good job, and a good punt. Picked up, fielded at the 34, and Lee gets drilled, fumbles the ball, but recovered by South Panola. A terrible mistake there that almost really cost South Panola, as it was fielded by, actually it was number 8, Darrell Henderson. Number 8, Darrell Henderson, not Quandez Lee. He was back, and once it bounced, I would imagine, Trevor, he should have let it go.
And number 8 for Olive Branch, Rashad Malone, put the hit on that returner. And you know, Greg, in the past, mistakes in the kicking game have turned the Olive Branch South Panola game.
So South Panola will set up shop. First time on offense, ball at their own 31. With the quarterback for South Panola, number 15, Rip Kirk. He hands the ball off. That's Strong around left end. Gets outside. Stutter step at the 45, and he's dragged out of bounds at about the 48-yard line as he's taken out by Olive Branch's Jamil Collins. Big gain right there for number 1, Ladarius Strong.
And you'll see that play a lot tonight, Greg. That was what South Panola would call their bread and butter, the stretch play on the zone. And Strong found a hole and took advantage of it.
Just short of the 48 is where they will mark it. Patrick Carr, by the way, the referee for this battle tonight here in Olive Branch. Rip Kirk, 6'3", 230-pound junior in the shotgun. Hands the ball up against Strong, or too Strong, and he'll go around the right end, then cut it inside midfield. He takes a couple of tacklers for a ride to about the 45-yard line of Olive Branch, taken down by Alfred Dickens.
And that's the same play, other side, Greg. Zone play to the right, and Strong finding good lanes to run in and picking up good yardage.
Tyler Beard, number 42, leading the way as a blocking fullback. He's been very instrumental for this South Panola running game. Kirk in shotgun formation once again at midfield, and again he hands it off to Strong. Strong looking to dance a little bit, finds an opening, cuts it up to the 40, 35, 30, down the left sideline. Oh, he jumps over a defender and gets inside the 25. So Ladarius Strong looking strong as South Panola moving the ball on their first offensive possession.
And DeAndre Harris made that play for South Panola, Greg, with a great block on the corner, and he blocked him 15 yards downfield.
He'll mark the ball at the 22-yard line. Olive Branch bringing in a couple of defensive changes. I'm not sure if that's because maybe they're a little winded and on the heels of their feet right now.
Olive Branch will play 8 on their defensive front and rotate them a lot.
Again, Strong in the backfield. Kirk hands it off one more time. Why not? Fourth attempt for Kirk, or for Strong. He takes it inside, gang tackled, but not until after he picks up about 7 yards. They'll mark it at the 16, so it'll be a 6-yard gain as Alfred Dickens once again gets his name called on the defensive side.
And Greg, in the open, we talked about keys to the game. Who can establish the run early? And so far it's been all South Panola. They haven't thrown it yet.
It is second down and a long 4. Under 9.5 to go in the first quarter. South Panola with possession after stopping Olive Branch and moving the ball effectively. Strong once again. This time he'll be short of a first down. I believe it'll be close. But once again, he's always moving forward, and even when he's tackled, he's being pushed forward.
And South Panola is winning the battle up front, and there's a first down.
Yeah, they will mark it a first down, so a good spot there by the officials. But again, a good strong run by the man named Strong, Ladarius Strong.
Does he have all the carries so far?
He does. 5 carries right now. Why not just keep going to your bread and butter? Last year, on only 68 carries at 545 yards rushing. 68 last year, the entire year. He has 5 tonight on this first possession. And make
now
it
it's
6. Strong cuts it inside. Strong tackled down at about the 6-yard line. Fred Walls, the middle linebacker, makes the stop for Olive Branch, the 6'1", 205-pound sophomore.
Olive Branch is now vulnerable to the play-action pass, but if I was South Panola, I think I'd just keep giving it to number 1.
Second down and 5. They can get a first down at about the 1.5-yard line, so it's not goal to go. Second and 5 for South Panola. Couldn't have started out any better for Lance Pogue. Get the defensive stop. And remember, they did defer, and now just shove it down Olive Branch and down their throats. Again, Strong, stutter step, tries to go outside, and this time he's met by a couple of defenders, and right there maybe the hesitation cost him as he goes down into the hands of Michael Harris and a couple of friends.
First time all night he didn't hit the hole as hard as he had been, and South Panola outweighs Olive Branch's defensive front by a lot, and you can tell so far in this game.
South Panola, 280, 315, 255, 300, and 290 across the offensive line. They'll mark it inside the 5, so it's 3rd and 4. They can get the first down. Once again, it's Kirk and shotgun. He's going to throw it this time and has Tyler Beard wide open in the corner of the end zone. and a touchdown for South Panola. So how about that? They move the ball down the field, running it with a great effort from Ladarius Strong, and then Rip Kirk with a nice pass to Tyler Beard, and it's 7-0. Well, 6-0 pending the PAT.
And when you run it 60 straight yards, you're going to be vulnerable, the defense is, to the play-action pass. And that time, Rip Kirk faked it to Beard and then threw it to him.
Clayton Sibley on for the PAT, 11 for 14 on the season. And you can go ahead and make it 12 of 15. A very impressive start for South Panola. The defensive stand and the touchdown on their first possession. 7:32 remaining here in the first quarter from Olive Branch, with the Conquistadors trailing 7-0. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network, presented by the United States Marine Corps. And remember, you can watch the broadcast of tonight's game on the internet at Great American Rivalry.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
South Panola has struck first with 7:32 remaining. And now Sibley with the kickoff from the 40-yard line. And again, it's a pop-up, which will be a fair catch at the 27. Try to get that number for you. It's number six for Olive Branch.
It's Michael Harris, the defensive end.
And Michael Harris, he signals fair catch, and then he started to run. He took a step, and they could have dropped the penalty flag, but they did not. He realized right away that he had called the fair catch. So Olive Branch back to work. Ball spotted at the 29-yard line.
Greg, I'm going to go ahead and say that first drive was a statement by South Panola.
It certainly was. You're talking about a team that can ill afford a loss. They are 3-2. Kraft hands it off. Stutter stepping now, cutting back inside, the running back for the Conquistadors. And that is Jap Payne, the 5'10", 180-pound senior who had 390 yards rushing entering the game. Very tough to figure out the numbers on these Olive Branch jerseys. It's kind of confusing with the gray uniforms, but we'll do the best we can for you. Checking back in now for Olive Branch from the sideline is the quarterback Sam Kraft, after getting the play from Scott Samsel.
He'll do that every play, run to the sideline and run back on.
6-yard gain for Jap, and it's 2nd and 4 for Olive Branch. Again, Kraft, shotgun formation, doesn't hand it off this time. He keeps it. 37, maybe the 38-yard line, very close to a first down, but I think they're going to spot him short.
And that's where Sam Kraft is a danger running that zone read play. He reads that defensive end. If the defensive end takes the running back, then he pulls it back to see how many yards he can get.
Kraft has accounted for 14 touchdowns for the Conquistadors, 9 with his feet to go along with 5 touchdown passes. 3rd down and 1 yard for the Conquistadors as they try to keep this drive going and get their first down of the game.
2 backs and 3 receivers for Olive Branch on 3rd and 1.
And we may have a timeout. Yes, we do. Scott Samsel did not like something, probably what South Panola had defensively set up, and they call a timeout.
And if there's something Scott Samsel does not like to do, it's call a timeout in the first quarter. But this is a big down here, Greg.
We'll keep it right here at Leslie Pool Field. Should it be something tricky? I would imagine just go right at them.
I think they'll probably run their duo or their stretch play to Jap Payne or something like that. Sometimes he'll throw one of those sideline screens to a receiver, and it serves as a running play.
Olive Branch trailing 7-0. They're 5-0 this year. Have they trailed at all?
They've trailed at halftime against Madison Central and against MUS.
So it's not unaccustomed to falling behind a bit and then surging back. So Sam Kraft has his team back out on the field. 3rd down and 1. Ball just shy of the 39. They have to get to the 39.
Sneak.
Kraft now under center, and he sneaks, and he'll cross the 40, and he has the first down. And that's why I said, just go right at him. Yeah. It's a half a yard that you need for the first down.
When Olive Branch gets under center, it's typically a quarterback sneak or the victory formation.
They'll move the chains. 1st and 10 for the Conquistadors, just over the 40. Chris Phillips, Davon Milan, Jordan Hall, Aaron Priester, and Chase Johnson. The offensive line for Olive Branch doing a great job with their surge there. And they're not too small either. How about 310, 325, 265, 280, and 265 across the board. Kraft again in the shotgun. This time he'll hand it off. Oh, and a big stick there by South Panola, number 2, Quandez Lee, the defensive lineman, as he takes down Dontavius Bruce. Almost simultaneous, Bruce getting the handoff from Kraft and getting hit by Lee.
And you wonder if anybody got a block for Olive Branch that time. South Panola was in the backfield seemingly as soon as the ball was snapped.
3-yard loss for Bruce. 2nd down and 13 now for the Conquistadors at their own 37.
And the momentum is squarely with South Panola, has been this whole first quarter.
Kraft in the shotgun, straight drop back. Now they're looking to screen. Cross the 40 and hit at about the 41, the original line of scrimmage. Taking a lick right there was Jamil Collins. And I was thinking to myself, they got to get Jamil Collins involved.
Jamil is going to see a lot of action on both sides of the football. Just recently, Greg, has he become a kind of a go-to guy in the offense for Olive Branch.
So 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Again, that play only got him 3 back to the original line of scrimmage. Ball just over the 40 as we rapidly roll through this first quarter, approaching the 4-minute mark.
The last 3rd and long, South Panola rushed 3. We'll see how many they send this time.
Collins and Mayweather to Kraft's right. Kraft under pressure now. Wants his receiver to go down the field. He points to him, but his throw way off the mark. And that will set up another punting situation for the Conquistadors.
Zach Ware will be the punter.
I was looking for the receiver that he
Receiver
was trying
in that
to find.
pattern was Jap Payne coming out of the
Jap
backfield on the
Payne.
wheel route.
And South Panola snuffed that out very well.
And they only rushed 4.
Tony Connor is going to drop back this time for South Panola. So Lance Pogue obviously didn't like the first punt return that almost resulted in a fumble and a turnover. That was Darrell Henderson. But now it's Connor back at his own 20 and Weir to punt. Lets it fly, and it's a good one. That one is going to bounce at the 25, but it goes forward, takes a South Panola bounce, but South Panola in business, leading 7-0 with 3:53 to go here in the first quarter. You're watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network presented by the United States Marine Corps. And remember, you can watch the broadcast of tonight's game on the internet at thegreatamericanrivalry.com.
Anytime you have Tony Connor back to punt.
I don't know why I took that, but I just didn't know. I thought they were doing it. So let me know when we're back here. 1st and 10 for the Tigers of South Panola. Ball at the 27-yard line. Handed off to Strong. Strong was having a juke and jive there to get away from the defender for Olive Branch. That was Alfred Dickens, who got into the backfield pretty quickly.
Yeah. Looks like Olive Branch made a little bit of adjustment on that zone play while they were on offense this last series there, Greg, and that may have been Strong's shortest run of the night.
Still, it's 3 yards, or at least a long 2. It'll be 2nd down. Yeah, they'll call it 3. 2nd down and 7. So a lot of Mr. Strong here in the first quarter for South Panola. Second and 7. Rip Kirk now going to look long down the sideline, and he overthrows the intended receiver, number 12, Tony Connor. We've talked a lot about Connor defensively, punt returns, kickoff returns. Also, he's a burner. He'll come in here and catch passes, but that was a little bit too much air under that one from Rip Kirk.
And Tony Connor caught that pass in their first game against West Point in the first series, and I believe that's been his only reception since then.
Good time to take a shot at 2nd and 7. No problem with that. So now it's 3rd and 7. Let's see what Olive Branch can do defensively. They've had their struggles early on stopping the run. Can they stop the pass? Here's a screen. Oh, and there's a big opening right down the middle as it goes to number 13, DeAndre Harris. That was well set up and well executed.
DeAndre Harris earned that screen pass by the block he threw in the last series when they got the touchdown that sprung Tony Connor for their long run.
1st and 10, South Panola, ball spotted at the 41-yard line. Rip Kirk again will drop back in shotgun formation with Ladarius Strong, the tailback behind him. 2 receivers to the right.
We got a flag here.
And we do have a flag. This is our first flag, is it not?
First flag. I'm going to guess illegal procedure since there's still time on the game clock, play clock.
Once again, the referee, Patrick Carr. And they're going to wave it off. How about that?
Still haven't had a flag.
Still a clean game in that sense. So it gives a breather, gives a second at least for the 2 teams to take a breather. And now, once again, Rip Kirk barking out some signals for his offensive line, and he gets back in that usual shotgun formation with Strong to his left, and he hands it off to Strong. Strong dancing over the 40, but he's hit hard. He'll lunge forward once again, though, and get positive yardage.
And so far, Strong's been the player of this football game, and that's the first time all night that I've seen the Olive Branch defensive front hold any amount of their blocks and make the tackle quickly like that, Greg. 2nd and 8 for South Panola.
Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Huge crowd, I would imagine close to a sellout, as they always draw well, whether this game's in Olive Branch or in Batesville. Once again, Strong, 45, cross midfield, 45, 40, 35, 30. Strong is one man to beat, and he does. He's able to shove him off, and it's a touchdown run of 58 yards for Ladarius Strong. And we have a flag on the play, and look at Rip Kirk back at the 40, and you could tell it's going to come back.
It was either the right tackle or the tight end, Greg, that had his man locked up, and I wondered if they'd call a hold or not. Looks like they did.
You were looking at the lineman. I was watching Ladarius Strong go right down the middle and then cut to the right sideline. A great run, all for naught, as it will come back.
And, Greg, that was the first time all season I've seen Jamil Collins run somebody down from behind and not make the tackle.
Well, it shows you the strength of Ladarius Strong. He's only 5'9", 165, but to be able to quasi-stiff arm him off was pretty impressive.
Big swing of momentum on that holding call.
So that ball will be moved all the way back to the 33-yard line. So South Panola goes back to work after a 58-yard touchdown run for Ladarius Strong is negated by the holding penalty. 2nd down and 18 now, and another hanky on the field.
Illegal substitution. Broke the huddle with 12 men.
Yep. That'll make it a 2nd and 23 for South Panola. Turf field here at Leslie Pool Field. Beautiful stadium.
2nd and 23, Greg. Would you throw it?
I would. It looks like Kirk has a very good arm. I mentioned he's completed 50% of his passes. He's thrown for 5 touchdowns. And you don't think quarterbacks, at least passing prototypical pocket passers, when you think South Panola over the years. They've had guys that can throw the ball, but they're a power team. The stand's shaking a bit here in Olive Branch, and he will throw, fires, and that one nearly intercepted as the wide receiver for South Panola, DeAndre Harris, slipped.
Dontrell Nelson stepped in front of it, and if he had kept his eyes on the ball, he'd still be running.
Harris fell, and you mentioned Dontrell Nelson almost had the pick, the 6'1", 170-pound senior, a University of Memphis commit. A couple of interceptions on the year for number 5, Dontrell Nelson. So now 3rd and eternity here with 1:30 to go in the first quarter.
3rd in Panola County.
Well, you want to try to get some yardage so you can get your punter set up. Or let's see
screen
what
pass.
Trying to screen, but snuffed out by Olive Branch, and then an off-balance pass nearly picked off, and another late flag.
It's going to be.
Kirk's not been knocked down, so I don't think it's any type of roughing the passer deal. It's going to go against South Panola.
It's an ineligible downfield. It had some linemen way too far down there to not throw a screen pass.
Well, you're right, exactly. They're looking for the screen. Yep. Kirk held onto the ball, snuffed out beautifully by Olive Branch, and they will decline, set up a 4th and 23. So Olive Branch, falling behind 7-0, did a great job on that series defensively.
South Panola went the wrong way on just about every snap.
Back to punt for South Panola, Logan Roberson, who's averaging 33 yards a punt. And deep for
Dontrell Nelson.
Olive Branch is Dontrell Nelson, number 5. Here's the left-footed punt by Roberson, and that's going to bounce at about the 43. It takes a South Panola hop, and it'll be down at about the 35-yard line. Tonight's contest between Olive Branch and South Panola is being featured as one of the 2012 Great American Rivalry Series game broadcast on the internet across the nation and around the world as part of the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network, presented by the United States Marines and iHigh.com.
There's no need to worry about how you're going to pay for college anymore. The iHelp Loan Program enables students to fill their needs when financing their education. If you need to borrow money for college, as most Americans do, SLFC and the iHelp Loan Program may be your best option. The loan features the most competitive rate available and is offered through your local ICBA bank with the help of SLFC, the student loan company thousands have trusted to help them pay for college. Go to slfc.com and explore all your options now.
Olive Branch, Mississippi, the Conquistadors of Olive Branch trailing the South Panola Tigers 7-0. We missed the first down play during the break, and that was a long pass from Kraft, and he overthrew Malik Mayweather, who tried with his outstretched hands to pull it in, but to no avail. 2nd down and 10 now for the Conquistadors. This is a quarterback draw, and nowhere to go for Sam Kraft as he is taken down by Darrell Davis, the big defensive tackle for the Tigers, 6'2", 310-pound senior.
And that one had to hurt. That was one of those pancake tackles.
3rd down and long now for Olive Branch, just trying to get in a rhythm of some sort offensively.
Haven't been able to do that. Those missed passes will do it for you. And that on the first down play, Greg, it was just Kraft missed Mayweather by a fingertip.
3rd down and 4 after the 4-yard loss. Kraft in shotgun formation has wide receivers, 2 to his left, 2 to his right. He has some time, and he has an opening up the middle. Here comes Kraft holding that ball very loosely, and he is taken down hard from behind by Matthew Davis. That could have been dangerous for Kraft a couple of ways. Number 1, basically blindsided on the tackle. Number 2, he was holding that ball like a loaf of bread.
And Matthew Davis showed some serious recovery speed to come out of the backfield and hit that quarterback with that much force.
Final moments here, winding down in the first quarter, and we won't even get the punt here. It'll be 4th down and 10 for Olive Branch when we return for the start of the second quarter. South Panola, the visitors, strike first. They lead at 7-0. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network, presented by the United States Marine Corps. And remember, you can watch the broadcast.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back to Leslie Pool Field in Olive Branch, Mississippi. The start of the second quarter between this great rivalry, Olive Branch and South Panola. The Conquistadors trailing the Tigers 7-0. And back to punt is Zach Weir here on a 4th and 10 to start the second quarter. Tony Connor is deep for South Panola at his own 20-yard line. Good snap. And a low liner by Weir that'll hit at about the 27 and will bounce out of bounds at the 16. So inside the 20, but another flag is on the field. If that stands, that'll be Weir's 4th punt inside the 20 this season. I think we jinxed it.
I think they're going to have to punt this again.
Right? We talked about it being clean. We've had penalties, I believe, on 4 of the last 5 plays.
That never fails, does it?
Nah, it never does. Well, they're sorting out the penalty. I want to remind everybody tonight's contest between Olive Branch and South Panola is being featured as one of the 2012 Great American Rivalry Series game broadcasts on the internet, across the nation, and around the world as part of the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marines and iHigh.com. We had a holding that was declined. We had a personal foul. Was it roughing the punter?
No,
it was a personal foul that they accepted. And yes, it's a personal foul, roughing the punter, that will be walked off now by one of the officials.
It's going to put Olive Branch back on the field with the football, Greg.
That's exactly right.
Big break for the Keisters tonight.
That was a total implosion there on that fourth down by South Panola.
Now, I didn't see the punter go down, but I was looking at the ball. So
you get a defensive hold on a punt, and you rough the punter. So you decline one. They take the roughing, 15 yards, first down, and Olive Branch back in business, trailing 7-0. The ball crosses the midfield. They're in South Panola territory at the 48.
South Panola penalties give Olive Branch new life.
They do. Sam Kraft drops back, nowhere to go. He's going to take it himself, 45, 40, and then out of bounds. He'll be a couple of yards short. They'll mark it at the 41, so he'll be 3 yards short of a first down.
Impressive that time. Sam Kraft eluded Tony Connor, picked up 8 yards after he got by him.
That was one of the matchups we talked about in the preview of this game. Watch for Connor. What can he do defensively to get Sam Kraft off kilter? Second down and 3 for Olive Branch at the South Panola 41.
Wide open playbook on 2nd and 3.
This time the ball is handed off to number 29, Jap Payne. And Payne will be close to a first down. I think he may have gotten it by the nose of the football. Looks like the spot is good, and they do mark it off as a first down. So they'll move the chains. Again, Sam Kraft reading the defense, either going to keep it or he's going to hand it off. Sometimes he's going to drop back and throw the ball off that.
Jap Payne converted that first down on patience. He waited when he got past the line of scrimmage on his big right guard, Davon Milan, to pave the way, and it just enough to get that first down.
Jap Payne, number 29, the senior, in the backfield along with the quarterback, Sam Kraft. In motion now, number 17, that is Dontavis Bruce. And here comes Kraft again, trying to be crafty, and he is hit. And will they throw a flag for a late hit? They do. The flag does come down. It was number 41 for South Panola. That's LaKedrick Flowers, and number 13, DeAndre Harris, both on that tackle, but a late tackle.
I think they pulled him down too late, but DeAndre Harris is all over the field on this defense for South Panola. Greg, that was the first time they waved the flag off.
How about that? Right in front of the Olive Branch bench.
Yeah,
That takes some cojones, huh?
I didn't think it was a late hit. I thought it was a late takedown, but I think they had their hands on it before they went out of bounds.
There was nothing malicious by that hit.
No.
They were
it wasn't obvious.
Spinning him around through his jersey. But again, it happened 15 feet off the field, and it was off the white as well from the sideline. So, again, they wave it off. Ball is spotted at the 37-yard line. Second down and 9 for Olive Branch, trailing 7-0. Again, Kraft in shotgun formation with Jap Payne next to him. Payne picks up the block. Kraft going down the field in the corner. Oh, and it's bobbled by number 5, Dontrell Nelson. Nelson had it in his hands, Trevor Davis, and couldn't reel it in.
Fantastic throw by Sam Kraft, right on the money. Nelson had his man beat by about a step and a half, and you got to look it in all the way until you have it against your body.
I like the shot that Scott Samsel took right there.
And that was 2 back-to-back plays, Greg, where South Panola brought 7 pressure on a blitz, and Olive Branch has gotten out of it both times.
Third down and 9. Big third down conversion needed for Olive Branch to keep this drive going. Trailing by 7. Kraft fires, wide open receiver right in front of the defender. The catch is made by number 10, Malik Mayweather. Move the chains, and Olive Branch is in business.
Coach Samsel told me this week, Greg, that if Olive Branch can't make the turn-in pass on 3rd and long, then their offense is not going to be as effective, and there was a prime example of it.
Love the job by Malik Mayweather, the 170-pound 6-footer, the senior, the veteran, curls around. wide open, right in front of the defender. He knew the defender couldn't get up there in time.
Malik's a two-sport athlete. He plays baseball.
Showed his athleticism there. Here's a pitch now to Jap Payne around left end, and oh, what a defensive play by number 29, Jatavius Turner.
And just about every other team that Olive Branch runs that play on, that play goes for big yardage. But on South Panola, they have the speed to get to the edge and take that running back down on that quick pitch.
No, they were right there
Impressive.
on the edge, and they take down Jap Payne. And that's a loss on the play for the Conquistadors. Ball at the 32-yard line. That is a 7-yard loss, 8-yard loss, in fact, on the play on that pitch. Second down and 18 now for the Conquistadors.
Bunch formation to the two receivers to the left.
Kraft, Payne, curls out of the backfield. He goes deep.
You got it.
Touchdown, Mayweather. Mayweather may have gotten away with a little push-off, but Sam Kraft put it right on the money.
Mayweather does the double move, and the second action got him open. Great throw
Second
by Sam
touchdown
Kraft.
for Malik Mayweather, and the 6th passing touchdown for Sam Kraft. Zach Weir on to try to tie this game. Wow, 2nd and 18. They not only convert for what would have been a first down if they stopped him before getting into the end zone, but it goes all the way for the touchdown. The PAT splits the uprights, and we are tied at 7 apiece. Big pass from Sam Kraft to Malik Mayweather. 7-7 here in Olive Branch. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network, presented by the United States Marine Corps.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back to Olive Branch, Mississippi, and we got a darn good one going, folks, and we expected it. That's why we are here with the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network. Olive Branch has just tied it up on a 35-yard touchdown pass from Sam Kraft to Malik Mayweather. Now, Weir will kick off for Olive Branch. A short pooch punt picked up by number 27 for South Panola is going to be taken down by a bundle of Olive Branch defenders. That was the upback Roosevelt Jones, who gets taken down. Devontae Davis, one of the Olive Branch Conquistadors, on the tackle.
Greg, let's go back to that touchdown pass earlier. Malik Mayweather has been more or less the possession receiver all season for Olive Branch, and to be able to catch a long one early in this game for a touchdown on a go route has to be great for his confidence.
We talked about the first down play, and then they go back to the air. I guess there was something they saw with the South Panola defense on that right side.
Well, South Panola's run for a touchdown. Olive Branch has thrown for one.
So here comes Rip Kirk leading his team back onto the field. The big junior back in shotgun formation will hand it off to Strong, and that's how they started early on in this game. And another bulldozing run by Strong, and another flag comes in from the side judge.
It's going to be a face mask against Olive Branch if I had to guess.
Ladarius Strong is going to be one tired young man after this one.
He has a quick burst so far tonight. When he gets the ball, it seems he's already in mid-stride and top-end speed.
Yeah, this year, 35 carries for 177 yards, 5.1 a carry, and no touchdowns. So maybe a coming-out party against the defending 6A state champions. They'll mark it off after the face mask. Was that incidental?
Yeah, I think they gave him 5 yards.
5 yards, mark it off to the 40.
At this rate, Strong's on pace to double his yardage total on the year.
Exactly. Ball at the 40, 1st and 10 for South Panola. They struck first. Olive Branch retaliates. And Kirk once again gives it to Strong. Behind that big offensive lineman, he dives down to about the 44-yard line.
First down.
Gain of 4 yards. I thought they had marked the first down after the face mask, but no, now they mark and move the chains. So that's the first down run, just shy of the 44 for Ladarius Strong.
So far, nothing flashy for South Panola. Handoff left, handoff right, and see what those big guys can do for Ladarius Strong.
And then, of course, the 6-yard touchdown pass after running the ball.
My mistake.
During that first series. Approaching 9 to go before half. Again, it's Ladarius Strong tiptoeing and nowhere to go that time as he's gang tackled by the Conquistadors defense. Devontae Davis part of that defense on that play. Maybe a yard, and that is all for Strong. 2nd down and 9 for South Panola. Last season, again, 9-4. You just don't expect a South Panola team to lose 4 games. They've lost 2 so far this year. They've won 9 state championships, 5 undefeated seasons. 5 of those state championships they won in a row, and had the 3rd longest high school football winning streak. That's in the history of the game at 89. The pass is complete to number 42, Tyler Beard, the touchdown maker, off the pass from Rip Kirk. That'll be short of the first down, but good yardage on that play.
Tyler Beard is a load. When he catches the football, he leans forward, and when he falls forward. You have to really wrap up to tackle Tyler Beard.
5'11", 210, a bowling ball, if
Absolutely,
you will.
he's a juggernaut.
Ball marked at the 48 of Olive Branch. It's 3rd down and 2. Beard's on the right side. He'll lead the blocking here for number 8 for South Panola, and they'll get a first down. And that time was Daryl Henderson. So a lot of Ladarius Strong, but that time it's Daryl Henderson who actually leads the team in rushing with 271 yards. He's also caught 4 balls for 85 yards and a touchdown. The sophomore 5'9", 175-pounder Daryl Henderson gets the first down as the ball is pushed across the 45, nearly to the 44 of Olive Branch.
No drop-off there from Strong to Henderson.
Not at all. They have Strong, they have Henderson, they could bring in Quandez Lee, and of course they got the big fullback that we talked about in Tyler Beard. Old-fashioned football here by Lance Pogue, just running right at Olive Branch.
Taking advantage of their size.
Oh, a high snap. Great job by Kirk as he gets it. Once again, it's number 8 on the move, Daryl Henderson, and a good job by Henderson running the ball after that high snap fielded by Rip Kirk. That shows Kirk's athleticism.
Advantageous high snap. It made Olive Branch hesitate for a moment and opened up a wide running lane for Henderson.
Henderson picks up 9 on the play, and that'll set up a 2nd and 1. Very meticulously, South Panola moving the ball down the field here midway through the 2nd quarter. Again, Kirk shotgun formation, hands it off to Henderson one more time. He'll plunge forward behind that big O line, and he'll get the first down.
Strong in the first quarter, Henderson in the second.
Mix it up, give the guys a breather when they can. Heading to the sideline there is number 15, Rip Kirk, as he'll get the signal from Lance Pogue.
3 first downs on this series for South Panola so far, Greg.
Kirk back into the game with the play call. No problem so far for the most part with the play clock for either team running the offense. They get the play, they get it in quickly, and that says an awful lot about these coaching staffs. First down and 10 now. Kirk once again hands it off to Henderson. Started right, turns left, cuts it up the field across the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Good hard running by the sophomore Daryl Henderson.
And you wonder if at this time Olive Branch's defense has been on the field far longer than their offense, and are they getting tired? Having those big South Panola offensive linemen hanging all over them every play.
2nd down and 6 for South Panola on the move here in the 2nd quarter. Again, Henderson in the game. Now Kirk's going to throw a quick pass, and that one nearly picked off, and that would have been 6 for Olive Branch. That was Calvin Scott, who almost had an interception, and he had daylight in front of him, Trevor Davis.
I think we called Calvin Scott, but it's hard to see those numbers. I think that was number 4, Alfred Dickens. It was.
Well, Dickens, who shows his versatility stopping runners in the middle of the scrum or showing his versatility on the outside, almost had a pick six.
Third down.
Third down and 6. It's Henderson across the 25, and he'll be tackled short
Close.
of the first down. I think he's going to be short, probably by a yard. Jamil Collins on the stop along with Fred Walls. I told you it was hard to read those uniform
really
numbers. They're going to spot it at the 25. So actually a yard and a half here on fourth down. Decision time for Lance Pogue. And I don't think there's any decision.
There's no decision.
Yeah, he's not going to bring out Clayton Sibley, who's 4 for 4 on field goal attempts this season. Looks like he wants to get the first down running the ball. The play clock is not moving. Apparently they did not call a timeout, and now they do. That was strange. So we'll take a timeout as well. Want to remind everybody you're watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marine Corps.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
5:26 remaining before halftime. Olive Branch and South Panola tied at 7 on our Great American Rivalry Series game. Two of the best in the state of Mississippi. 4th down and 1. Lance Pogue called the timeout as South Panola needs a yard and a half to get the first down. By the way, the play that almost resulted in a pick and more than likely would have been a pick six,
Sure.
That was Devontae Davis, number 3, who had it in his hands, couldn't control it, and it ended up being a mere incompletion.
Devontae's a junior linebacker. All of Olive Branch's linebackers are underclassmen.
Well, Cooley's a senior, right?
Yes, my
Walls
mistake.
a sophomore, Davis a junior.
Walls, Davis, and Dickens who
a
I was
junior.
thinking of.
That's nice to have those
Yes.
players, as talented as they are, coming back for at least a year, and in some cases, 2 years in the case of Fred Walls. So here we go. Rip Kirk leads the team back onto the field, and once again it is Darrell Henderson to his right. 4th and 1. Straight handoff to Henderson, around left end, and he'll have the first down, I believe.
Easily.
Henderson goes forward and should have the first down. Again, it'll depend on the mark. You never know from our vantage point here. And we have an injury on the field for Olive Branch. 5:20 remaining here in the second quarter. And right now they're going to go out and they're going to attend to the injured player. We'll tell you about that when we return. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marine Corps. Welcome back to Leslie Pool Field at Olive Branch High School in Olive Branch, Mississippi, where we're still trying to identify the injured Olive Branch player on the field. In the meantime, the Conquistadors joyous as they ran off the field after stopping South Panola on that 4th and 1. And that's why I said you never know from our vantage point whether or not they're going to get the proper mark.
Rashad Malone, number 8.
And
He's the injured player.
good sign here. He's walking off under his own power.
There's no need to worry about how you're going to pay for college anymore. The iHelp Loan Program enables students to fill their needs when financing their education. If you need to borrow money for college, as most Americans do, SLFC and the iHelp Loan Program may be your best option. The loan features the most competitive rate available and is offered through your local ICBA bank with the help of SLFC, the student loan company thousands have trusted to help them pay for college. Go to slfc.com and explore all your options now.
Welcome back to Olive Branch High School, Leslie Pool Field. All good news for Olive Branch. They stop South Panola, get the ball back, and again, the injured player able to run off on his own power.
Greg, I'm always curious when a high school team has 4th and 1 and they get in the shotgun to get it.
Exactly. I'm with you. Absolutely with you. Sam Kraft will hand this ball off around left end. There goes number 2, Jamil Collins. And he tried to stretch the field. Good job on the pursuit by South Panola, but a nice gain on the play for Collins. Tackle made by number 29, Jatavius Turner. We've had Turner's name called a few times, the 5'11", 190-pound senior, the strong safety who came up in pursuit. Ball marked at the 31. 7 yards on the play for Collins. So 2nd and 3 for Olive Branch. Sam Kraft strictly from shotgun, except for that 3rd and short when he went under center. Hands the ball off here, which is good enough for a first down. That goes to number 29, Jap Payne. And Payne lunging over the 35. I said the 41, but it's the 36-yard line. But good enough for the first down nonetheless.
Well, Greg, 5 minutes and change left in the second quarter. We got a 7-7 game. It's been as advertised.
Absolutely. And South Panola needs to come up big on defense here. You don't want Olive Branch to take it down the field, use the clock, get a score, and have the lead at half because you feel like you played well enough to have the lead. Here's a reverse to number 17. That is Dontavis Bruce, and that one is stretched out by the South Panola defense very well. Not much real estate there for Bruce.
Hard to run wide toward the South Panola bench.
Bruce with 132 yards entering the game, 25 carries. He's also caught 7 passes for 64 yards.
He's a 10th grader just learning what it means to play varsity football.
1 yard on that run by Bruce. 2nd down and 9 for the Conquistadors at their own 37-yard line. Kraft fakes the handoff to the man in motion. Instead, he gives it to the back who is gang tackled. South Panola not fooled whatsoever. That was Deshaun Lindsay on the tackle. Collins had the handoff, and he had nowhere to go. They had a man in motion, faked the handoff there. South Panola did not fall for it, and that is a huge loss of 6 yards. That'll set up a 3rd and 15 now for Olive Branch.
In hindsight, they should have given it to the up back. Olive Branch way behind the chains on this 3rd down play.
Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. And now South Panola make that Olive Branch will spread the field. Kraft now under pressure, looking to dance. He dances around a couple defenders, but he can't get around the 3rd one. That's a good play by number 5, Javon Norris, who makes the stop for South Panola. So that'll be a 4th and long now for the Conquistadors, and they will have to punt it away.
Very impressive tackle by Norris that time. If he doesn't make it, Sam Kraft gets most of that first down yardage, if not all of it.
Zach Weir, number 30, will drop back to punt. I believe 2 punts already tonight. This will be number 3. He had 15 punts entering the game. And again, a very solid 40-yard per punt average. Tony Connor is going to drop all the way back inside his 30 to receive for the Tigers. Good snap. Line drive punt, and Connor's going to let it bounce. It hits at the 30, but it goes right to him at the 21. Connor splits the defense, trying to get to the outside. He gets a block. Connor at the 45, now cuts back against the grain. Connor across midfield, into the open field. Can he get by the final defender? He cannot. He is taken down at the 12-yard line by Sam Kraft, of all people. Kraft saving the touchdown on an explosive run by Tony Connor, and we could not have set up this game any better when we previewed Connor versus Kraft.
And Tony Connor always makes himself known in all 3 phases of the game. There's your special teams.
We talked about the situation for South Panola. They needed a stop. It would really be deflating if you saw Olive Branch trailing for most of the first half, take it down the field, use the clock, go into the locker room with the lead. But instead, now you're Olive Branch on the defense. Lance Pogue certainly wants to get this lead heading into halftime. 2:31 to go. Ball is at the 14-yard line with Rip Kirk calling the signals. He has Strong in the backfield. Strong gets the handoff, trying to juke, and he cannot do it as he is taken down by number 45, Javonte Hall, the big 6'4 junior.
Big tackle by Javonte Hall. Good footwork. And you were talking about Sam Kraft holding the ball like a loaf of bread. So did Strong that time. He's not tucking it.
Strong certainly should be fresh. He did not play the last series whatsoever as they went with number 8, Darrell Henderson. Loss of 2 on the carry by Strong. Ball is situated at the 16-yard line of Olive Branch with under 2 to go. Again, 2 timeouts for both teams. Kirk on a 2nd and 12, hands it off to Strong. Again, reverses his field. 15-yard line, looking for a block. Dances back 10, 5, inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. Good strong run there by Ladarius Strong. And that'll be 1st and goal to go for the South Panola Tigers. Michael Harris on the tackle for Olive Branch.
And Strong was patient, found his lane, and then burst through there and carried tacklers down to the 3-yard line. Impressive run.
Ball marked at about the 3.5-yard line. Clock running, 1:30 to go here before halftime.
And how fragile and how quickly can momentum change in a game just on a punt return?
Absolutely. Special teams, an instrumental part of this game of football. Handoff to Strong. He bulldozes his way. I think he crossed the goal line. He did, and it's a touchdown for South Panola. He took a big old hit, but he'll get up with the help of his teammates, and a touchdown for the Tigers as they reclaim the lead 13-7.
The Olive Branch defensive coordinator was frantically calling for a timeout to no avail, could not get the officials' attention, didn't like what he saw, and I think we see why.
Clayton Sibley, 1 for 1 tonight, 12 of 15 on the season PAT, so he's not perfect. We'll see if he can split the uprights and make it a 7-point game. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and he does just that. 14-7 South Panola with 1:12 to go, but Olive Branch has a couple of timeouts remaining. Let's see what they can do as they'll get the ball back in just a few moments after the kickoff from South Panola. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network, presented by the United States Marine Corps.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back. 1:12 to go in the first half. South Panola leading Olive Branch 14-7. The Conquistadors, the defending Class 6A state champions, they've won 20 straight games. South Panola trying to put an end to that tonight. Kicking off is number 45, Clayton Sibley, and as he's done all game long, it's just a pooch kickoff, a skyscraper that's fielded and fair caught by Gary Wilson. Ball at the 37-yard line. So Olive Branch will go to work. Sam Kraft calling the signals with 1:12 to go and 2 timeouts.
We've had 3 touchdowns in the game, Greg. 1 run-dominated drive by South Panola, 1 pass-dominated drive by Olive Branch, and then a punt return-aided drive that we just saw from South Panola. We've seen a little bit of everything.
Ball again marked at the 37. Kraft in shotgun formation, has a tailback next to him, 2 receivers left and right. He's going to roll to his left.
2-minute drill.
Has plenty of time to throw. He fires, but that one over the head of Dontavis Bruce. And Kraft has been right on the money with a couple, but also, Trevor, he's been off the mark with a few. Ephraim Kitchens on the coverage.
The last period of every practice for Olive Branch is their 2-minute drill. And here's an opportunity for them to work on that. They're going to work those sideline routes, if I'm not mistaken.
Second down and 10 for the Conquistadors of Olive Branch. 5-0 on the season. Looking to remain unbeaten. Kraft is going to have to swing it to his back. Jap Payne. Payne under pressure, looking for the sideline. He's taken down, though, in the field of play by number 7, Deshaun Lindsay. Under a minute to go now, and 3rd and long for Olive Branch. I'm a little surprised here that Lance Pogue isn't using the timeout. He has 2 remaining as well.
Well, he gets the ball first when we come back out. You know, Olive Branch would love to get some kind of points here, knowing that they have to go on defense when the second half resumes.
Great point. Clock continues to run, and Olive Branch in no hurry. Got a 12-second differential between the play clock and the game clock. They're going to have to snap it again, though. Kraft, almost a bad snap, and he gets across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. And now I believe Lance Pogue is going to let the clock run out.
Wow.
So he's happy with the lead. South Panola trying to win on the road against Olive Branch and return the favor from last year. And now the clock stops with 3 seconds, and now it continues again. But last year it was Olive Branch going down to Batesville, knocking off South Panola on their way to a 15-0 season and a state title in Class 6A. We're at halftime here in Olive Branch, Mississippi. It's the South Panola Tigers 14 and the Olive Branch Conquistadors 7. And you are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marine Corps.
One of the goals of Music Lessons Unlimited is to bring high schools and bands into the 21st century by offering mobile lessons that are convenient and easy to use. You'll have access to all the lessons, all the instruments, all the time. It includes an online tuner and a recorder that's easy to use. You can make recordings of your performances, and you can even email them to anyone. The educational value is both rewarding and lasting.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
Students, wanting to go to college?
Parents, wanting to send your high school student to college? Know how you're going to pay for it?
Give us 2 minutes and we'll tell you everything you need to know.
There's no need to worry about how you're going to pay for college anymore. We'll show you exactly how to find grants, scholarships, and if you need it, a loan with the best terms available.
SLFC is here to help.
The Student Loan Finance Corporation works closely with students, as well as their lenders and schools, to alleviate education loan headaches. SLFC specializes in helping students with and servicing alternative loans that feed hungry minds nationwide. SLFC has now introduced a new loan program through member banks of the ICBA, the Independent Community Bankers Association. The iHelp loan program enables students to fill their needs when financing their education. We ensure that anyone who wants to pursue post-secondary education has access to timely, adequate financing and experienced helpers.
Through the iHelp loan program, students are offered loans with low interest rates and no teaser rates.
The program provides private student loans designed to supplement but not replace scholarships, grants, and other financial aid options, including federal student loans currently offered on college campuses.
Not sure where to start? SLFC has designed a website with tons of resources for helping you plan for and fund an education, whether you're in college now or plan on attending college soon. Let's break it down. First, the Planning for College section. This provides you with a timeline to guide you through several of the steps you need to know about when applying to schools.
The Paying for College section will help you navigate your way through the financial aid process, making it easier for you to take advantage of all the options available to you.
For example, did you know there are hundreds of scholarships available, and many are actively looking for students? You don't have to be valedictorian to earn these scholarships. We have the details online.
The toolkit helps you choose a college and career based on your interests and needs, and features our exclusive trend tracker that matches you with colleges based on a variety of criteria.
Imagine, all in one place, the costs of each college, the average test scores, and dozens of other features, all in one graphic map. And finally, if you need to borrow money for college, as most Americans do, SLFC and the iHelp loan program may be your best option. The loan features the most competitive rate available and is offered through your local ICBA bank with the help of SLFC, the student loan company thousands have trusted to help them pay for college.
Go to slfc.com and explore all of your options now.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
One of the goals of Music Lessons Unlimited is to bring high schools and bands into the 21st century by offering mobile lessons that are convenient and easy to use.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
The Great American Rivalry Series. 48 classic matchups nationwide. The biggest moments under the brightest lights. Hardcore great American football the way it was meant to be. In the stands and on the field. Be a part of the action when the greatest show in high school sports comes to a town near you. The Great American Rivalry Series. Presented by the United States Marines. From High. Who's your rival?
Halftime at Olive Branch High School in Olive Branch, Mississippi, where the Conquistadors of Olive Branch, 5-0 on the season, the defending Class 6A champions, find themselves trailing South Panola, the powerful Tigers from the University of South Panola. We say that kiddingly. 14-7 is the score. South Panola up at halftime. We welcome you back, Greg Gaston, alongside Trevor Davis. Tonight's contest between Olive Branch and South Panola is being featured as one of the 2012 Great American Rivalry Series games broadcast on the internet across the nation and around the world as part of the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marine Corps and iHigh.com. And we want to give a special welcome to all the servicemen and women around the world who are listening to this broadcast. We appreciate all you do and hope you are enjoying the game. Well, we know that all these fans here in Olive Branch, and there's got to be 5,000 people that are enjoying it despite the home crowd being a little disappointed trailing 14-7. But we've had a little bit of everything.
Well, the defensive struggle broke out in the first half, Greg, and South Panola leads in total yards at halftime 137-79. So lots of 3-and-outs and 4-and-outs and several punts featured in that first half. But that shootout never did materialize.
South Panola is an offense that averages just a tick under 400 yards a game. So the South Panola defense is rising to the occasion so far tonight.
If they get to 400 yards tonight, it'll probably be a one-sided score.
There's no doubt, and it would mean a huge second half. Started off with a good defensive stand by South Panola as they won the coin toss deferred, so they'll get the ball to start the second half. But on defense, they did a great job, 3-and-out for Olive Branch. And then offensively, it was a lot of Ladarius Strong leading the team down the field, running the ball. And then Rip Kirk, the quarterback, a 6-yard touchdown pass to Tyler Beard may have surprised Olive Branch a little bit, and they took a 7-0 lead.
And they did so on the strength of that huge offensive line, making running lanes for Ladarius Strong. But they capped it off with that touchdown pass. Play action had Olive Branch on their heels, and Beard walked it in.
South Panola could have been up 14-0 if it was not for a holding penalty, a 58-yard run by Latarius Strong. That was a highlight reel play, but they brought that one back. The tides kind of turned a little bit. Olive Branch got momentum, and they were able to score on a 35-yard touchdown pass from Sam Kraft to Malik Mayweather.
How about this stat, Greg? Neither team reached double digits in first downs in the first half. South Panola had 9, Olive Branch 6. So really struggling to move the chains. And, you know, it looked like that the game was sloppy in that second quarter, but would you believe there were only 4 total penalties, but we saw 3 flags at least 2, maybe 3 flags picked up.
And it all came in about a 7, 8, 9, 10 play span. It
Right.
just seemed to be all during the same time period of this game. So 7-7 after Olive Branch seemed to have seized momentum. Sam Kraft throwing a brilliant ball to Mayweather. And then South Panola looked like they could lose the lead. Olive Branch was driving. They stop them. They get the ball back. And then a lot more of Ladarius Strong, and he bowls his way over from 3 yards out to make it 14-7 where we stand here at halftime. So let's go inside the locker room, and Trevor, let's talk about both teams. First of all, you're Lance Pogue. You're on the road. You're the underdog, which is very surprising because there's not too many games in recent memory you could say South Panola was an underdog, but they're up 14-7. What is he saying to his guys?
I think he's saying to his guys, as hard as you blocked on those run plays in the first half, do it even harder this time, and we win this game going away. Now, on the other hand, you have Coach Sampson and his staff with Olive Branch saying we have got to make headway on first down when they have the football and not give them 8 yards every time.
We talked about big plays, and South Panola has really been void of them most of the season. A lack of touchdowns. They've had some big plays with the special teams.
Yes,
and obviously
kicking
they
game.
had a huge special teams play in this game, and right now really the difference would have been a touchdown if Sam Kraft didn't make that play. But I don't know if they need anything big offensively. They just need, again, to continue to have a dose of Ladarius Strong, to be spelled once in a while by Darrell Henderson. Rip Kirk is doing his job, throwing the ball a few times when he has to. He's very, very accurate. But right now it's come and get us. We have an offensive line led by Dion Mix that is blocking. Why not continue to do what they've been doing?
If I had to describe South Panola's first half in one word, it would be methodical. They just lined up and ran the football and didn't get in a hurry. and now they have a 14-7 lead going into the break.
And again, Olive Branch, they may need the big plays. They scored on a big play on that 35-yard pass.
And that wasn't Sam Kraft's only good pass of the first half.
No, not at all.
A couple went in and out of the hands of receivers, and he gets a little help. Maybe we have a tighter ball game.
Yeah, he threw some good passes. He also overthrew receivers a few times as well. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network, presented by the United States Marine Corps.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back to Leslie Pool Field in Olive Branch, Mississippi. A beautiful facility and a fantastic crowd for this great rivalry. As we mentioned in the pregame, South Panola 27-10 is their lead in the rivalry, and they had won 10 in a row going into the game last year in Batesville. But that's really where it changed for Olive Branch. A 24-6 win in Batesville last year and got the momentum, and of course they went on to go 15-0 and win the state championship. And it basically said to South Panola, at least in my opinion, we can beat you.
And South Panola only scored one time in that game last year. It was a touchdown, and they missed the extra point. The final score was 24-6. So far in the first half, they've doubled their output, 14 points, 2 touchdowns. And I want to go back and talk about the punt return. You know, Tony Connor showed his talent on that play, but I'll tell you, there were 2 key blocks. And I missed the numbers of the South Panola players, but really, when they made their hits on the Olive Branch punt team, Tony Connor had all sorts of real estate in front of him.
Now, what you're going to see when you watch these 2 teams is fundamentals. And part of fundamentals is good blocking technique. They're learning from good coaching staffs. So you would expect it. Sure, there's going to be the hold, there's going to be the occasional penalty, but for the most part, both these teams have offensive linemen who can block and protect the quarterback and open up holes for the running backs.
Essentially, neither of these teams have in off-season anymore. And so both of them practice, they lift weights, they play 7-on-7 all summer long. And so it's just all football all the time, 365 days a year now.
South Panola back onto the football field as they leave the locker room, and Olive Branch not yet. So you would imagine that Scott Samsel, a little bit longer, a little bit more deliberate. But as you mentioned, they've been behind before.
2 times already this season. They've trailed at halftime to 2 really good football teams, Madison Central in the opener and MUS just a couple of weeks ago, when MUS was actually ranked in the top 50 in some of the national polls of high school teams. And so Olive Branch, they're not going to come out here believing they can't win the game, but you have to think that both locker rooms are different. Lots of positive ideas for South Panola, and maybe not so much for Olive Branch. Just the way they walked off the field, it seemed that way.
All right, we're coming right back to Olive Branch High School. Stay with us.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Trevor, let's talk about some of these players and their college aspirations, because there is an awful lot of D1 talent out here. In fact, last year on their way to a state championship, Olive Branch had so much talent that 31 players from last year's championship team are gone, 18 of which signed scholarships to universities and junior colleges. So they lose 31 players from last year's team that move on to play college football. And now we look tonight at these two teams, and there's talent all over the place. Let's talk about some of that. We mentioned Tony Connor. He can go anywhere he wants. He can go to Bama, LSU, anywhere he wants. The number 7th ranked safety in the country, the number 1 player coming out of Mississippi.
Clearly, and by far, he's the number 1 player. And I really expect to see Tony Connor on an SEC field next year, not redshirting, but making an impact. And wouldn't it be interesting if Nick Saban comes and gets another one for his defense?
Deion Mix, the left guard, ranked number 10 in the country, offensive guards, and he's a monster. And
committed to Mississippi State, the South Panola administrators were telling me. And he's having a good season, but he missed a couple of games earlier due to an illness, but he's back 100%, making a big impact.
South Panola, talent all up and down the roster. Same deal with Olive Branch. We talked about Sam Kraft. He's going to the University of Memphis. He is a transfer, by the way, from Craigmont High School. So 2 starting quarterbacks tonight that are transfers. Kraft, Craigmont High School to Olive Branch. Rip Kirk from Tunica Academy now to South Panola. We also mentioned Dontrell Nelson. He's committed to the University of Memphis. Do you know of any of the other players here on the Olive Branch roster?
I do. Jamil Collins is getting lots of looks from the local schools, the Memphises and Arkansas States of the Mid-South. And with his speed, I expect to see him sign with a Division I school. Yeah, just an anecdote on Dontrell Nelson. He was at a camp at Mississippi State this summer, and they timed him with the 40, and he ran the 40. His first one was 4.27 in the 40, so they thought, well, it had to be a mistake.
Right.
Mississippi State coaches line him back up and run it again, and they clock him at 4.22, offering him a scholarship on the spot. But interestingly, he sticks with his commitment to Memphis. Justin Fuente doing a great job.
Also, something we neglected to mention in the first half was the key loss for Olive Branch in the backfield. Marcus LaFleur was their starting tailback. They lost to a broken fibula at the MUS game a couple of weeks ago.
Marcus LaFleur, in my mind, is the heart and soul of the Olive Branch offense. Big loss, but Olive Branch has great depth, and so they were able to plug in another one. But LaFleur will be back next year. He's a junior, but he plays with all heart.
Well, the captains are heading back to the center of the field, although we do know that the second half kickoff belongs to South Panola. They will get the ball first. They won the toss. They deferred and put Olive Branch on the offensive to start the game. So now this is just merely semantics here, as South Panola will get the football up 14-7. We'll take a quick timeout. Again, you are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network, presented by the United States Marine Corps.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
See that coach, silver hair?
Welcome back to Olive Branch High School. Fans, many of them looking for fireworks here from their undefeated conquistadors, and we'll see if they get it in the second half. We got a little bit of it in the first half, but it's been mostly the power and strength of the running game of the South Panola Tigers as they lead it 14-7. Well played first half. We did have a few penalties. We had a great special teams play for South Panola. But again, it's the running of Ladarius Strong and the passing ability and the running ability of Sam Kraft for Olive Branch. Meanwhile, Tony Connor with the big return for South Panola, leading to that touchdown run of 3 yards from Ladarius Strong, the difference so far in the game. So South Panola will get the ball. Tony Connor and Daryl Henderson will go back deep, and Zach Weir will kick off for Olive Branch. The officials, I think, need a football. A football would help.
Need one to play. Be interested to see which way Olive Branch kicks this football. On that punt return, Coach Sampson was not happy with his punt team, I think because they were trying to kick it away from Tony Connor. Instead, they kicked it right into his hands, and, well, the result was a long run back.
So Weir now gets a football. He'll put the tee down at the 40-yard line. Again, Olive Branch coming off a close one last week, close shave against rival South Haven, 31-28. Meanwhile, it was South Panola all over nearby Horn Lake, 55-3. And here we go, start of the second half from Olive Branch High School. And again, Weir's going to pooch this one. It's more of an onside kick there. It may have tipped number 13 for South Panola's uniform, and that's DeAndre Harris, but he's able to get on it.
It's live football anyway.
Exactly. You're right. Thinking of a punt for a second, but you're right. That was a nice little pooch kickoff, but more of an onside kick as he got it pretty good distance, though, from his teammates, but not bad whatsoever. And Harris was able to fall on it at the 28-yard line. That's where Rip Kirk, the quarterback for the South Panola Tigers, will go to work, 1st and 10. The 6'3", 230-pounder. Big size. Good size, isn't he?
Big quarterback. And you just called that play at the line of scrimmage. We'll see.
And they'll start off the way they started off the game. Strong gets the ball, shakes off one defender, but he can't get too much on that run as he's taken down by Devontae Davis, number 3 for Olive Branch.
Devontae Davis cleaned up, but Fred Walls made the play by the pursuit.
Forcing it a little bit outside.
Yes.
Nowhere to go for Ladarius Strong with 35 carries coming into the game, and may get 35 by the end of this game.
70 carries.
Loss of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 11 for the Tigers. Number 85, Antavian Reed, is checked into the game. He's in motion for South Panola, and the pass goes in and out of the hands of Tyler Beard.
I'm a little surprised that Beard didn't make that catch.
Yeah,
He's done so many things.
A little tall for him, and I think Tyler Beard on the move, not as stable and fluent as he would be if he's basically sitting around on a curl pattern and waiting. So it's now 3rd and 11, and Olive Branch would like to do what South Panola did to start the game, get a 3 and out and get the football back. Rip Kirk has Strong to his right, 2 receivers left, 1 to his right,
Screen.
and they're looking for a screen. Completed to Tony Connor. Breaks through a couple tackles, breaks through another one, and he's fighting to get to that 1st down marker, and I think he's going to come up a little short, but it depends on the mark again. But what a play, what an effort by Tony Connor.
What a 2nd and a 3rd effort by Tony Connor on that run.
And it is a 1st down. And look, the blockers did a great job, but that one's on Tony Connor.
Absolutely.
1st down and 10 for South Panola. They'll move the chains, and they get the 1st down, the initial 1st down to start the second half. Ball at the 38. Trips left for the South Panola offense. Kirk, though, will hand it off to Strong. Strong looking for the outside, and he'll bust over the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Short yardage on the run by Strong, but once again, he lowers the boom when he lowers that helmet.
Olive Branch has seen that play enough now that they have adjusted their pursuit lanes, and 2 times they've run it in this drive, they've gotten 2 yards.
2nd down and 8 for South Panola. Looking to score first here in the 3rd quarter. They already lead this one 14-7. Olive Branch riding a 20-game winning streak. Kirk, again, hands it off to Strong. Strong around left, and he's hit. Breaks through a tackle, but not much after that. Good pursuit by Olive Branch. It's almost every single play when Strong takes the handoff, it's a quick stutter step, and then he goes the opposite direction.
It's the zone play. He's looking for the lane to open up, and it's been a cutback every time. Alfred Dickens made that tackle, but I tell you, Ladarius Strong is leaving his mark.
Ball at the 43. Got some cowbells going here.
You're in
at
Mississippi.
Leslie Pool Field. Yes. Although quite away from Starkville. Ball at the 43. It's 3rd down and a long 5 for the Tigers.
Statement right here, Greg. Statement play.
Darrell Henderson now in the backfield, and that's the big guy, Beard, in motion. And we got whistles, and a procedure call is going to go against South Panola, and that's going to set up a 3rd and 10 now.
And my guess is it won't change the play call one bit.
Why not? Keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. But this is the first time that I remember in this game that Olive Branch has forced 2 third downs on the same drive before midfield.
It is similar, not in formation, but in result to the old power I.
Oh, absolutely. It's the ace formation. It's the power I without a fullback.
It's ball control.
Yes.
That's what it is. 10 yards is what's needed here for South Panola. They need to get to their own 48.5-yard line. Kirk fakes, now fires down the sideline, and he has a receiver who is wide open for the first down to the 46-yard line. That one's completed to Bailey Lawrence, number 9.
What a well-designed play by Coach Pogue and his staff. They've been running that screen play to Connor 2 or 3 times. They fake it, and he's wide open down the numbers there for the first down, Bailey Lawrence.
5'9", 175-pound junior with just his 2nd reception on the season, but a big one. As we close in on 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, ball at the 45. 1st and 10 now on the Olive Branch side of the field. Here's Henderson, hit, and he goes forward to about the 43. Number 4 for Olive Branch on the tackle. That's Alfred Dickens, and we've called his name quite a few times tonight.
3 yards on that inside trap play for South Panola, and Beard really made the block that sprung the running back for those 3 yards.
Beard is the unsung hero for the South Panola
Clearly.
team. He's doing a lot of the dirty work, but he also caught the touchdown.
You reward your workhorses when no one expects it.
Exactly. 2nd down and 7 for the Tigers. Handoff to Henderson, looking to follow his blockers. He does. He crosses the 40-yard line. He'll be short of a first down, but good positive yardage running the ball once again for the Tigers.
The differences in the running games that are evident from the press box, Greg, are that when South Panola is tackled, they fall forward, and when they've tackled Olive Branch, it's stopped them in their tracks.
3rd down and 4, ball situated at the Olive Branch 39-yard line.
And
once again, credit.
Third down of this drive.
It is. Once again, credit to Barksdale, Mix, Boyd, Malone, and Rayford, the Hogs up front. Kirk in shotgun formation, hands it off to Strong. Strong looking to tiptoe to the first down. He gets it. Dragging a tackler across the 35 to the 34-yard line. And again, Strong, who gets a couple of plays off to catch his breath, comes in. Big, strong run for the first down.
And on that play, he looked to be slowed down in the backfield, makes one cut, and gets 4 yards. He's jumping off the field as someone that you have to keep a man on.
Does he not, to you, seem to play bigger than 5'9", 165?
I'm shocked at those numbers.
Ball at the 33, and now Kirk under center. That's a rarity. He hands it off to Strong. This time, nowhere to hide, as he is taken down by 3 Olive Branch defenders, led by number 16, Fred Walls.
We may not see that formation again. It didn't work.
It did not. Very rare with Kirk under center. We saw Sam Kraft for Olive Branch under center the one time on the 3rd and short, and he was able to get the first down.
Which makes sense. You want to get closer to the first down and having to make up those yards in the backfield from the shotgun.
Ball controlled, time-consuming drive here for South Panola, but they lose 2 on that play. 2nd and 12. Once again, Strong the handoff. Oh, and he is taken down hard at the line of scrimmage. Trying to find that number. That's number 16, and that's Fred Walls once again. Back-to-back plays by Fred Walls, the 6'1 sophomore.
That's a sophomore, and Walls wasn't starting at the beginning of the season, but he's really turned it on in practice. They're rewarding him, the coaches are, by these big plays and these meaningful minutes.
3.5 sacks on the season for Fred Walls. 3rd down and 12. South Panola was in a 3rd and 10 recently. They've been able to convert seemingly every time. On that 3rd and 10, they went to Bailey Lawrence, who's back in the game. 2 receivers to the right of Kirk, 1 to the left, but he's going to hand it off to Strong. Strong looking for real estate, breaks 1 tackle, breaks the 2nd, lunges to the 30-yard line, and will be well short of the first down. So trying to get into Clayton Sibley field goal range, who was perfect, 4 for 4 on the season.
And he kicked all 4 of those in the first game of the season against West Point. So it'll be interesting to see. He hasn't kicked one in 4 games.
And South Panola is going to call a timeout, or was that a That may be an official's timeout. We'll take a break as well. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marine Corps.
There's no need to worry about how you're going to pay for college anymore. The iHelp loan program enables students to fill their needs when financing their education. If you need to borrow money for college, as most Americans do, SLFC and the iHelp loan program may be your best option. The loan features the most competitive rate available and is offered through your local ICBA bank with the help of SLFC, the student loan company thousands have trusted to help them pay for college. Go to slfc.com and explore all your options now.
Okay. Welcome back to Olive Branch High School. 6:03 remaining in the third quarter, and decision time for Lance Pogue, the head coach of the South Panola Tigers. 4th down and 8. He has a pretty good kicker, but as you mentioned, 4 field goals game 1. Nothing since. Do they attempt the long field goal? Did they try to get the first down? I was a little surprised on 3rd down they run the ball with Strong as opposed to throwing a pass. They were very successful earlier on with the pass to Lawrence, and he's been pretty accurate, Kirk, tonight.
Well, the pre-snap activity said all pass, and I think that was to try to lull the defense to sleep, and then it was essentially a draw play that didn't work.
Rip Kirk's coming back onto the field.
Yeah, they were in no man's land.
Kirk in shotgun formation, back to pass.
Double move.
Ball fake, throws deep. He underthrew his receiver. Was it picked? No, incomplete. Or did
intercepted?
It was intercepted. How about that? What a play. I couldn't tell if that hit the ground or not. They're going to mark it right at the 13, and just an underthrown ball by Rip Kirk.
And the interception actually helped South Panola because if he knocks it down, the line of scrimmage is back 25 yards.
Exactly. Did you catch the number of the interceptee?
Yes, it was Jamil Collins.
So Collins with a very good play, but again, that one underthrown by Rip Kirk, and the ball is turned over. Olive Branch will take over at their own 13.
The double move worked on the corner, but there was a safety waiting.
First turnover tonight, right?
Yes, first turnover of the game.
So here comes Olive Branch. Long way to go with 5:55 remaining in the third quarter, but a long way to go as far as the game is concerned as well. Just down a score, 14-7. Kraft, direct snap. He's taken down. He fumbled the ball, but they'll say he was down. Sam Kraft is back up, but there is a South Panola player down. Well, it's just Tony Connor getting up a little slowly there after that collision. And there is a player hobbling now for Olive Branch, so it's going to be an official's timeout. I kept looking at Sam Kraft after he got up from the pile, and he was signaling to the sideline. So I wasn't sure who was hurt, but we do see a player right now down on the ground, as you can see.
It's Sam Kraft.
It is Kraft?
Yes.
Okay. I thought Kraft had gotten up, maybe went right back down. I think that's exactly what happened, and this is not good. We need to take a break. We'll come back and tell you all about this. But Olive Branch's season could be in the balance as Sam Kraft is down. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network, presented by the United States.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
We're back in Olive Branch. Sam Kraft is being helped off the field and walking gingerly with the aid of a couple of the staff members of Olive Branch. Josh Cooley, the backup quarterback, number 15 in the game. Flips it over to Jap Payne, and great pursuit there by South Panola. The tackle made by Antonio Connor, who's been everywhere tonight.
That's twice Olive Branch has tried that quick pitch, and twice it's lost big yardage.
3rd down now for Josh Cooley, who's put into a very precarious situation. Let's talk about the 6-foot, 220-pound senior, the son of assistant coach John Cooley, the former head coach at Horn Lake and Ridgeway High in Memphis we talked about earlier. He's a transfer from Horn Lake. He has thrown 12 passes, has completed 6, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. 50% completion ratio. He's thrown for 73 yards, also 8 carries, 31 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. He's really a better defensive player, and that's probably where he'll play at the next level in college. But let's see what he can do offensively. As right now it's down to Josh Cooley with Kraft on the sideline, and we have a whistle and maybe a delay. That's what we got.
And that's what happens when you have a backup quarterback backed up near his own end zone. I expect something safe here, Greg, to make room for the punt.
I think you're absolutely right, Trevor. Third down, it'll be 3rd and 17. You take no chances here because if you got a pick six from South Panola, they go up 2 touchdowns. It could spell doomsday.
In a defensive struggle, field position matters, and Coach Samsel knows that. This will be interesting.
Maybe a screen.
Or a draw play.
Or a draw play. Something safe.
I don't think anything on the edge like that quick pitch.
Jap Payne, number 29, is in the end zone right now as the lone running back. And he takes the handoff, and he is dropped right when he takes the handoff from Cooley at the 5-yard line. Wow. Big hit right there for South Panola by Daryl Davis, and we've called his name a few times tonight. He ran into a brick wall right there.
You know, Daryl Davis beat his man, beat another man, and made the tackle.
4th down and a mile, and in his end zone now to punt is Zach Weir, and let's see if Lance Pogue decides to pressure the punter. Tony Connor drops back at the Olive Branch 45. Big play in this game, and we have some whistles.
Timeout.
And a timeout called by the Conquistadors. So that's their first here in the second half. And they have right now South Panola at 3, but they really have 2 timeouts. We'll take a break. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series. Welcome back to Olive Branch High School. 4:20 remaining in the third quarter. It's 4th and 17 for Olive Branch. Right now on the scoreboard, they've marked a timeout for Olive Branch, which is what we just saw.
Right.
But they have South Panola still with 3 timeouts, and we know they called a timeout when they were deciding on what to do on that 4th down.
And the only thing I can guess, Greg, is one of those 6-minute heat timeouts got substituted for the one Lance Pogue was trying to call. And if so, that's a break for South Panola.
That's a good point. It is quite humid for late September. We're almost in October, and we're still talking humidity here in the Memphis area, Olive Branch, Mississippi, to be exact. Under pressure as Weir does a nice job getting that one off. Received at the 42 by Henderson. Crosses the 30, hit hard at the 25 as he's taken down by big number 66, Jordan Hall. But great field position for the South Panola Tigers.
South Panola is almost in field goal range to start.
So really the 4th down gamble and not electing to go for the long field goal has not hurt them.
No, it kept the field position on their end to their advantage. And then their defense stepped up to the occasion, made Olive Branch go backwards.
Ball at the 25-yard line. We'll try to get you an update if we can on Sam Kraft. Not sure if you see him on the bench, Trevor. If you can see something, let me know. Okay. But in the meantime, Rip Kirk now has his team back on the field. The junior quarterback calling signals from the shotgun, and he gives it to number 1, Ladarius Strong, and he goes down hard. 3 men on the tackle there for Olive Branch, led by Darian Apston, the 6'3", 235-pound junior.
Good defensive play by Apston on that tackle there. He beat his man off the snap, and then he didn't let Strong juke him out.
Kirk is not known for his mobility, but boy, you think a bootleg right now would really work well because they are zeroing in on Strong.
And he might be able to walk it in.
2nd down and 10. May have lost a half a yard on that play. 3.5 to go in the third. South Panola trying to tack on to their 7-point lead. And we have whistles again on the field.
Timeout, South Panola.
And South Panola calls a timeout. So let's see if they do finally put 2 up there. But I could have sworn they're down to 1, but I think you may be right as far as that heat timeout, an official timeout because of the humidity here in Olive Branch. 14-7, South Panola has the lead, 3:23 to go in the third. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network presented by the
One of the goals of Music Lessons Unlimited is to bring high schools and bands into the 21st century by offering mobile lessons that are convenient and easy to use.
Welcome back. 3:23 remaining in the third. It's 2nd down and 10 for South Panola. So you wonder, a 2nd down and 10 play, why Lance Poe called the timeout. What do you think's going through his mind here?
But it's clearly 4-down territory, and I would assume 2nd down and 10 from your 26 with a 1-touchdown lead. The whole playbook's open to you. Maybe they just didn't have the right personnel on the field.
From what he's done so far, what we've seen from Pogue, you would think 4-down territory, but maybe if they get a little closer, they do elect to bring in Sibley for the field goal try. So we'll see. But it's 2nd and 10. They want to get 7 as opposed to 3. Kirk again, shotgun formation. Connor gets the ball now in the backfield. Connor, 25-20, dances to about the 17 or 18-yard line before he's taken down.
Give Coach Pogue credit for that timeout. It seemed to work.
Not sure who was in on the tackle. Fred Walls, they announce here, and Fred Walls has been pretty big for Olive Branch. Again, just a sophomore. That young man has a lot of football in his future. Ball is at the 19-yard line, and it's a 3rd and 5. They got to get to the 15, so it's really 4 yards needed for South Panola to convert. Again, Antonio, Tony Connor, Beard in motion. Kirk in the shotgun, gives it to Connor again. Boy, he hits the holes hard, and he has a 1st down, dragging tacklers across the 15-yard line. No hesitation when Tony Connor gets the handoff.
This is old school football, Greg. Off tackle left, off tackle right. Follow your lead blocker and see how many you can get.
1st down at the 14. Olive Branch making defensive changes. Terrence Malone make that Brandon Pugh, I should say. He enters the game. No, I should say Sean Banks. I was wrong I was right the first time. Actually wrong both times, wasn't I?
Olive Branch is going as big as they can up front because it seems clear the game plan for South Panola is just to run it down the middle of the football field.
Well, good point. And Banks is absolutely huge. Again, Beard in motion. Connor in the backfield. Pretty simple. Just
Same
give
play.
it to Tony Connor. To the 10. Connor to the 5. And again, hard nose running. It took 3 Olive Branch defenders, including Alfred Dickens, to knock him out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
That's one of those manhood plays, Greg, where the idea is we're just going to block straight ahead, and if you can't stop us, we're going to run right behind these big offensive linemen right into the end zone.
They say stepped out, being tackled at the 6-yard line. So the market at the 6. It is 2nd down and 2.
Play action, maybe?
I think they're going to go safe again. They got Strong now back in the game. They're going to hand it off, and they do. Strong over the 5, but not much. Just barely over the 5. Good defensive stop there by Olive Branch. Now set up a 3rd and short. Tackle made by Isaiah Taylor. So simple, old-school football. Olive Branch says we're going to run it. Can you tackle us or not, Olive Branch? And on that particular play, OB came through.
Big 3rd down here. This is where I think there's no doubt what's going to happen.
Power football. 3rd down and 1. Strong in the backfield. Beard in motion. He'll be the lead blocker. And there is Strong. And I don't know. That's close. Devontae Davis got right in on him. They knew what was coming. This one is close. Looks like they're marking him right at
the 4.
Right at the 4. And that would be good enough for a 1st down. And it is. 1st and goal, but just barely for Strong on that run. 39.5 seconds to go in quarter number 3. South Panola 4 yards away from making this a 2-touchdown game.
The field position in the 3rd quarter has been all South Panola.
Kirk hands it off to Strong. Strong gets tripped to the 30-yard line as he's taken down by Chris Matthews. Second down and goal. Clock continues to run, and I don't think South Panola will run another play. They'll let the clock wind down and let the third quarter expire. Good third quarter, although no scoring. It was mano y mano football. We are through 3 in Olive Branch, Mississippi, in this rivalry battle. The Conquistadors of Olive Branch trailing the Tigers of South Panola 14-7. You are watching.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
We are at Olive Branch High School, Leslie Pool Field in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and we are pleased to be here for this contest between the Conquistadors and the Tigers. It's being featured as one of the 2012 Great American Rivalry Series games broadcast on the internet across the nation and across the world as part of the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marines and iHigh.com. And we want to give special welcome to all the servicemen and women around the world who are listening to this broadcast. We appreciate all you do and hope you are enjoying the game. Greg Gaston, Trevor Davis, high atop the stands in the press box in Olive Branch, and now watching South Panola come out with a second down and goal.
Under center.
Handoff to Strong. Strong finding his way towards the goal line, but he'll come up short. And you're right, that was number 15, Rip Kirk, the quarterback, under center. Fred Walls making the tackle, stopping South Panola at least temporarily. Ball spotted at the 1.
South Panola needs a good charge up front, and Olive Branch needs a turnover.
They need it in the worst way. Olive Branch has the only turnover of this game. Kirk, he's big. Will he take it on the sneak? No. He gives it to Strong, and he finds his way into the end zone for the touchdown. A 1-yard plunge for Ladarius Strong, his second rushing touchdown of the game. It's now 20-7, the South Panola Tigers.
It feels like it should be more than that, doesn't it, Greg?
It does.
20-7 at start of the fourth quarter.
Now Clayton Sibley will come out to try to make it a 14-point game. Sibley is perfect tonight on his extra points, 2 for 2. 11:23 remaining in the fourth quarter. Sam Kraft, we don't know if he'll be able to come back. Olive Branch and their 20-game winning streak is in deep trouble. The kick by Sibley is up, and it is good. 21-7 with 11:23 remaining. South Panola, the visitors, leading the Conquistadors of Olive Branch. And you are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series broadcast network presented by the United States Marine Corps.
There's no need to worry about how you're going to pay for college anymore. The iHelp loan program enables students to fill their needs when financing their education. If you need to borrow money for college, as most Americans do, SLFC and the iHelp loan program may be your best option. The loan features the most competitive rate available and is offered through your local ICBA bank with the help of SLFC, the student loan company thousands have trusted to help them pay for college. Go to slfc.com and explore all your options now.
If Olive Branch is to stay undefeated and keep that long winning streak intact, they're going to have to explode here in the remaining 11:23 left in the fourth. Kickoff by Sibley. Again, pops it straight up. Ball is dropped by Olive Branch at about the 26, but quickly recovered by the Conquistadors, and they'll have the football 1st and 10. I think that was number 29, Jap Payne, there on the fumble off the kickoff.
It was.
So Josh Cooley is on the football field as quarterback. Sam Kraft went down with an injury. We have not got word one about the injury to one of the most explosive football players in Mississippi and in the entire Mid-South.
This 2-touchdown advantage that South Panola has, got to give lots of credit to their kicking game.
And that wasn't pretty. Yeah. Cooley, absolutely. And Cooley's waiting for the snap. It didn't come. The offensive lineman jumped, and that'll cost Olive Branch 5 yards and make it a 1st and 15 as the ball is marked back to the 21-yard line.
Don't you get the feel, Greg, that Olive Branch is at a very fragile psyche and time in this ball game? This is almost a must-score drive for them.
Well, I think it's absolutely a must-score. You got a lot of pressure now with Cooley in. He's not mobile. He's strong, but he's not mobile like Kraft. He's got to use his arm, but he has to get protection, has to have the time to throw, and I would think that South Panola would pin their ears back. Cooley now has time. He's trying to run. Tiptoes. Good pass to a wide-open receiver down the sideline. Great improvisation by Josh Cooley, who dumps it off to Jamil Collins, who finds real estate down the sideline.
Cooley he's played against South Panola before as a quarterback. He did last year at Horn Lake. He's not scared. He's not intimidated, and he showed some nifty feet getting away from that defender.
I think you hit it right on the head. The kid's been through some wars before. He's a senior. He's not intimidated. And that's one thing you don't have to worry about with a player like Josh Cooley. Ball all the way to the 46. Big play. They really needed that one. 1st and 10 as we approach 11 minutes to go. Cooley gets some protection, fires, and that one is incomplete. Looking for Mayweather and defended very well by number 16. That's Steven Stanford for South Panola.
I think one just got a little air under at that time, Greg. It sailed on him. Not unusual for the first pass over the middle to do that.
Good sign, though, the last 2 plays was darn good protection.
Yeah, they didn't get close to him.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Conquistadors. Down 21-7. We talked about Olive Branch having to rally a couple times this year, trailing at half. But now 11 minutes down, 14 touchdowns, or 14 points, I should say, with your backup quarterback. Cooley, again, time to throw, fires, and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, number 17, Dontavis Bruce. A little bit high. May have been able to handle it, but he didn't.
Dontavis is diminutive. He's not very tall, but I think that was a catchable pass.
7 receptions coming into the game for 64 yards for Bruce. So 3rd and 10. Plenty of time to go in the quarter, so I don't believe we're in 4-down territory. How about yourself?
Well, I think when Coach Samsel gets around midfield, trailing by 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, that he's not thinking about punting.
We'll see, but let's see if they can convert the 3rd down. That's the first opportunity. Cooley, shotgun formation. Payne swings out. Under pressure now, under duress, and he's going to be taken down. First one in there for South Panola was number 5, Javon Norris. Also helping out on the play was Anthony Benson.
Anthony, that's a Memphis name.
Absolutely. Penny Hardaway, of course, is what my partner is referring to. Big play there. Now you're 4th and 14.
You know, don't be surprised.
Well,
they roll the clock. Don't be surprised to see some kind of fake punt maybe here.
Coming out to punt is Zach Weir. That was interesting. The whole Olive Branch team came over. They didn't call a timeout, and then the whistle finally blew the start the play clock. So now we're at 10 seconds on the play clock with Weir waiting back to punt at his own 28-yard line. He keeps looking at the sideline almost like it's going to be a fake punt here. They may have to call a timeout, and they do. And that was just a disaster for Olive Branch. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish there.
Well, one of the Olive Branch punt team members came off the field as if he were hurt late, and so they didn't have enough personnel on the field.
All right, I did not see that, but that will be their 2nd timeout of the 2nd half. Only 1 remaining.
And when
you are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network presented by the United States Marine Corps.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
4th and 14. Zach Weir back to punt at his own 30, and he booms it, absolutely destroys it. Tony Connor says, forget about it. Actually, for South Panola, that was DeAndre Harris back, and he said, forget about it. It's going over my head. I'm not going anywhere near that ball. Good job by Zach Weir, but now the South Panola offense could try to put this one away. The Olive Branch defense, Trevor, needs to do something, needs to come up big.
And watching this game, you just wonder, was the offense on the field long enough on that series to give the Olive Branch defense enough rest to deal with this power running game of South Panola?
9:49 remaining in the fourth quarter, 21-7. The visitors from South Panola looking to go 4-2 and drop Olive Branch to 5-1. More importantly, in the region, that would make South Panola 2-0, and Olive Branch falls to 1-1. Hand off to Henderson around right end, gets a couple of blocks. Good, strong running by Henderson, who picked up 7 yards on the run.
And we've seen that play more than once tonight. And Henderson, you know, they might as well be twins out there. Henderson and Strong, you can really tell no difference when one is running the ball and the other one is not.
They both really hit the holes hard. Maybe Strong a little bit tougher, but Henderson has shown his durability and also his sense to find openings. And now South Panola with a 2nd and 3. Couple of wides to the left, including number 13, DeAndre Harris, who's a good playmaker. Let's see if they try to put it away with a pass. No, instead they go to Henderson. Right behind that big old right tackle, Darian Rayford, and the right guard, Terrence Malone. Going to be a little short here. It'll be 3rd and about a yard, maybe 2. Let's see where they mark it. Yeah, 3rd and 2, I would think.
Dion Mix, the big tackle for South Panola, came up gimpy, number 76. We'll see if he has his full strength.
And for South Panola, Tavian Bibbs labors off the field. 3rd, they have 1 on the scoreboard. I think it's a long one, nearly 2. Rip Kirk hands it off to Strong. Strong over the mark for the first down. Ball was taken away by Olive Branch, but the ball was whistled dead. He'll get the forward momentum and the first down, but unfortunately for Olive Branch, they will not get the turnover. And the Olive Branch coaching staff say, wait a minute. He was still moving. He was churning. He took the ball away. But the officials who have the last say are saying, no, did not happen. We blew the whistle. It'll be a first down. They move the chains for South Panola.
Well, Bradley McCurdy agrees with us. Olive Branch really needs a turnover. He was trying to create one.
And right now, you got to think that way. You got to think strip. 1st and 10. Rip Kirk has really done a nice job. The junior, very intelligent quarterback, has made some key passes, but not too bad. Just hand off the ball to Strong and Henderson. Strong down the right sideline. Oh, boy. He lowered the boom right there on Dontrell Nelson. First down running right there by LaDarius Strong.
It's like he's running downhill.
We don't have the numbers in front of us, but I am really curious to see how many carries he has. And he's been out a couple of series as well with Henderson coming in.
They've kept him fresh. He seemed to run that one as hard as he did the first carry of the game.
Great point. Ball at the 48 in South Panola. Just continuing to run the ball and try to run the clock. 8:03 remaining in the fourth. The Tigers leading 21-7. They had a 10-game winning streak against Olive Branch broken last year. Handoff to Henderson, the aforementioned one, around the right sideline. Strong run inside the 40, and another first down for the Tigers. Tackle made by Bradley McCurdy.
One team looks fresh and one looks gassed, Greg. What does Olive Branch have left?
Looking at the fans right now, sitting on their hands, not much to cheer about. Some may be perplexed, some may be just disappointed, wondering what's happening with their star quarterback, Sam Kraft.
I see him on the sideline. He's back.
That's a good sign. Is he moving around? Where is he?
He's standing down there. And he's got his quarterback towel on.
I see him as well. Looks like he's possibly
gimpy,
going to come back
doesn't he?
into the game. We'll
Yeah.
see, but that's good. That's great news long-term for the Conquistadors. Meanwhile, short-term, it does not look good right now. Henderson, again, finding some opening as he'll get 4 or 5 yards. It's 4, 5, 6 at a time, and the tackle made by Alfred Dickens. But you can't give the offensive line of South Panola enough credit.
Well, South Panola's best defense right now is their offense, and their best ally is the clock. They may not put it in the air another time.
They have won the war in the trenches tonight.
Yes. Unmistakably. Can't argue that.
4 yards on the rush for Henderson, who's back there with Rip Kirk in the backfield. Kirk in shotgun as he's been most of the game. And again, Henderson gets the call over the 30 and close to another South Panola first down as the clock continues to run. They'll mark it just shy, and it'll be 3rd and 1.
3rd and a short one.
Yeah, it's about a length of a football, that's all. And I would imagine more power running for South Panola. And we do have an injury. It's the quarterback, number 15, Rip Kirk, who was on his knee. And now we got an official's timeout for the injury. So Rip Kirk laboring a little bit. He was down on a knee. Maybe took a hit. Wasn't sure exactly what happened there, but he seems to be okay. And we'll take a quick break. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network, presented by the United States Marine Corps.
The Great American Rivalry Series. 48 classic matchups nationwide. The biggest moments under the brightest lights. Hardcore great American football the way it was meant to be. In the stands and on the fields. Be a part of the action when the greatest show in high school sports comes to a town near you. The Great American Rivalry Series. Presented by the United States Marines. From Eye High. Who's your rival?
If South Panola has, or I should say Olive Branch has any chance to win this game, they need to stop South Panola right here on a 3rd and 1. But I would imagine with Lance Pogue, you need 1 yard. If you don't get it the first time, you're going to try it the second time.
It's definitely 4-down territory for South Panola. Olive Branch might be tempted to take some risk here, but South Panola is so sound offensively that they could easily take advantage of that.
Rip Kirk, okay, back on the field. Has Henderson to his left. Hands it off to Henderson. No doubt about this one. Straight up the gut, the first down. They're going to tack on some yards with a face mask penalty against the Conquistadors. Again, it's no surprise what South Panola is going to do.
And that's what desperation does to a tired defense. You end up seeing those face mask penalties after first down conversions just out of frustration and out of desperation.
And they will mark this one off from the 24, and this one is a 15-yarder, and this one will be marked all the way down to the 13-yard line of Olive Branch after the personal foul penalty for the face mask. And some fans starting to get up, possibly making their way to this very crowded parking lot and on their way home.
You know, Greg, isn't it hard to fathom a team beating South Panola 41-6 like Bentonville, Arkansas did a few weeks ago?
Boy, that's a great point. Hoover, we know, very talented. They took
Yes.
them behind the woodshed as well. And they barely won that first game. They could easily have 3 losses going into this game.
There's another level of high school football out there.
Henderson around right end and in the end zone. It's almost like Olive Branch quit on that play.
They are a very tired defense, and the way you exploit a tired defense is you run right at it.
13-yard touchdown run for Darrell Henderson, and it's 27-7 South Panola.
With that touchdown run, Greg, I wouldn't be surprised if Darrell Henderson hasn't equaled the yardage that Strong has in this game now.
Well, again, it's been a great 1-2 punch, has it not?
Yes.
Clayton Sibley in for his 4th PAT. High snap, they get it down, and the kick is good. Great job by the holder, trying to catch that holder's number, and I think it was number 46, the punter, Logan Roberson. Good job by Logan. The PAT's good. 5:23 remaining in this one. South Panola on the road leading 28-7. And you are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network, presented by the United States Marine Corps. .523 remaining in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and the hometown team has taken it on the chin tonight. The undefeated Conquistadors, the defending Class 6A state champions in Mississippi, are about to lose for the first time in 21 games, unless it's a miracle finish here in northern Mississippi. They trailed 28-7 to the Tigers of South Panola. Again, they had the 10-game winning streak. They lost last year 24-6 in Batesville. You think they were pretty fired up to come here to Olive Branch tonight?
They clearly came in motivated, Greg. Hey, stranger things have happened. I know it's 28-7. There are 5 minutes and 23 seconds left.
There's still some time. Clayton Sibley, as he's done all night, pops it up, and a fair catch once again taken by Olive Branch, and that was Rashad Malone. And it seems like they were coached very well by Scott Samsel that kicker was going to do this because they know what to do. He had plenty of room there if he wanted to, but it's put the hand in the air, make the fair catch. Let's see what we can do offensively. And
one thing that makes it easier is that's what Olive Branch does when they kick off.
So they mirror each other.
Yeah, they see it every day in practice.
Josh Cooley is back out there, so I doubt we see Sam Kraft the rest of the game. But again, he's on the sideline, and that's a good sign. And Cooley threw a bullet right through the hands of number 2, Jamil Collins, who's unable to bring it in. 2nd down and 10 for the Conquistadors.
Josh Cooley is a really good high school baseball catcher, and he was throwing to second base on that one.
Will Josh play college baseball, do you think?
I think he might. I'm hearing that he's got a real good chance to play college baseball.
Want to remind everybody, tonight's contest between Olive Branch and South Panola is being featured as one of the 2012 Great American Rivalry Series game broadcasts on the Internet across the nation and across the world as part of the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network and presented by the United States Marines. Under pressure, Cooley fires, and he underthrows the intended receiver, number 17, and that's Dontavis Bruce. So Cooley able to move up in the pocket, scramble a little bit, and on the run makes the throw, but short of the intended receiver. And now 3rd and 10 for the Conquistadors.
Cooley saw the field well that time. He just wasn't able to get his feet set, and the ball wobbled. Fell harmlessly to the turf.
What's next for Olive Branch after tonight?
Olive Branch plays next week, and I believe it is Grenada, which will be here at home. Shovel pass.
A little shovel pass right there, and a good cut made by Bruce. So Bruce gets the first down, I believe. Let's see where the mark is. It is good enough for the first down. So good running there with the nice cut down the middle by Bruce on the shovel pass, and a first down for Olive Branch. They haven't had too many in the second half. I'm trying to remember.
They haven't had the ball much in the second half, and that was a good conversion. You know, now Olive Branch is trying to beat not only the defense but also the clock.
Ball at the 38-yard line with under 5 to go. Cooley has Jap Payne to his right. Shotgun. Plenty of time to throw, and he throws it up way high and out of bounds. Good defense there by number 10, Tavis Flowers, on the intended receiver on the wheel route. That was Jap Payne, but that one was a floater.
Yeah, and you got a guy who gets more reps in practice at linebacker than he does quarterback, and I don't know if the ball had a little sweat on it or something, but it seemed to slip out of his hand.
2nd down and 10 for the Conquistadors. Mention Olive Branch getting beat by Bentonville soundly. Also losing to Hoover 35-10 and barely beating West Point 12-10. This one tonight, though, is very rewarding. Big stick right there by South Panola's number 37, Ephraim Kitchens. Who was the intended receiver? Did you see for Olive Branch? Boy, Kitchens really laid the wood there.
I'm sorry, Greg, I missed it. I was trying to see. Those numbers are difficult.
It looks like, again, it was Jap Payne
Maybe
on
so.
the other side. 3rd down and 10 with 4:37 remaining. Flowers, though, laid the wood.
You know, I think that was the best defensive play of the night on the field.
Olive Branch now will spread it out. 2 receivers right and left for Cooley in shotgun formation. Jap Payne, the running back. Cooley, again, has time, fires to Payne, and Payne is drilled at about the 46-yard line. Lindsey was on the tackle, number 7 and number 41, LaKedrick Flowers. He's a big guy. Makes the hit as well. It'll be 4th down for Olive Branch. They need to keep the chains moving. They need a 1st down here, and then they need a big play and a miracle. Down 3 touchdowns with 4.5 to go. They just have not been able to do anything offensively. Sam Kraft has a 35-yard touchdown pass to Malik Mayweather, but that's been pretty much it. And Kraft got hurt. He's been out for nearly the entire 4th quarter. Good running there by Jap Payne, one of his better runs of the night. He crosses midfield to the 49-yard line. Deshaun Lindsey making the tackle for South Panola. So they get the 1st down. Now they need a play. They need a touchdown. They need it in a hurry. And then they need a lot of other things to happen.
You wonder where that play was earlier in the game.
Lance Pogue also keeping things fresh.
Absolutely.
As he brings in defenders here on the exchange.
He's platooning them.
Cooley again. Fires. And that one's going to be overthrown.
Well defended.
Mayweather, the intended receiver. Flowers matching number 10s there on the defense, as you mentioned, Trevor. And we now have a 2nd and 10 for Olive Branch with 4:09 to go. Ball just across midfield. So it'll be back to work for the Conquistadors with their first loss of the year, and the 20-game winning streak will be gone.
Mississippi has a playoff system, and so really the only record that matters is your division record. This will bring Olive Branch to 1-1 and in the division, and South Panola to 2-0.
Looking the juke and jive, number 2 for Olive Branch. That's Jameel Collins, but really nowhere to go, and they're going to lose yardage on the play.
Greg, I saw South Panola last year, and they didn't look like a typical South Panola defense. But what I'm seeing tonight, I believe South Panola is back.
I believe so as well. This is all it takes is one big victory, and I know they've taken some lumps against Hoover, a power in Alabama, Bentonville, a power in Arkansas, but they get that real close shave victory against Madison. I think it was Madison Central, West Point, excuse me, and then they come back and win against this talented team. That's one that'll really
still
pick
a
you
good
up.
Football team,
no doubt about it, and they got a long way to go this season. 3rd and 13, that's completed. Cooley. And a late hit, I think they're going to tack on some yardage. That was completed to number 23. That is Warren DeWalt. So Warren DeWalt, the 6'1", 165-pound junior across the middle, went in there, made the great catch on a good pass from Cooley. And they're going to tack on some yardage with 3:14 to go. Is that a helmet-to-helmet hit there?
I think so. And lots of high school kids would tend to get those alligator arms, Greg, when they go across the middle, but not DeWalt.
That was a nice reception by the young man.
Now, how do you make up 3 touchdowns in 3 minutes and 14 seconds?
Well, if they can figure it out, they better bottle up the formula because everybody's going to want it. Cooley again in for the injured Sam Kraft in shotgun formation. Barking signals from his zone or make that the South Panola 25. Cooley, little shovel pass. Oh, number 2 going down hard is Jameel Collins, as he is upended by Deshaun Lindsey. Collins back on his feet and looking at the South Panola defender, and they're barking at each other. Lindsey and Collins going back and forth, but a good play by Lindsey. 2nd down and 9 for Olive Branch. South Panola certainly doesn't want to give up a late touchdown.
You know, and if you're barking it this late in the game, if you're South Panola, don't you just turn and say scoreboard?
Exactly. But I like the passion. I still like the passion of Olive Branch competing till the very end. They'll dust themselves off. As you said, they are a very good football team, and they'll be back. But I like that they're still competing.
They will watch these plays in the film room.
Cooley looking for the end zone. Oh, boy. Looked like he had Collins.
Good throw. Good throw by Cooley and away from the defender. missed opportunity.
Collins, we talked about alligator arms, not so sure right there. 3rd down and 9. I think the fans here rooting for Olive Branch certainly thought that was going to be 6. And now it's 2:19 to play, 3rd and 9. Got 2 downs to convert the 9 yards. But again, the clock certainly the Olive Branch enemy. South Panola says, hey, take all the time you want. Yeah, we don't want to give up a touchdown in the end. If it happens, it happens. But they are making this a lot harder for Olive Branch than Olive Branch would have liked. Cooley's got Jap Payne to his right. 2 receivers left and right. Fires over the middle. Jap Payne makes the reception. He is taken down at about the 3-yard line. Tackle made by Lindsey once again.
Deshaun Lindsey's all over the field.
Yeah, he is. We've called his name about 5 times in the last, 6 minutes of game time. And 1st and goal for the Conquistadors with 2:14 to play. Ball is spotted at the 3-yard line. So it's goal to go.
Every point counts, Greg, because if there, in case of a tiebreaker, the margin of victory comes into play.
Well said, Trevor. Cooley, shotgun, keeps it himself. Cooley will bowl his way into the end zone. Good decision there on the option read by Josh Cooley, who scores the touchdown. And now it's a 28-13 game pending the extra point with 2 minutes to go.
And an onside kick coming up.
Zach Weir, number 30, will attempt the PAT, and he'll attempt that onside kick as well in just a few moments to make it a 14-point game. Snap is good. Hold is perfect. The kick by Weir is good, and it's 28-14 with 2 minutes to go. And we'll take a quick break, come back with the final 2 minutes. You are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network, presented by the United States Marine Corps.
There are a few who move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the pure, the proud, the Marines.
Today's game is presented by the I Help Loan Program from SLFC.
During today's game, we're going to give you the tools to help you find your college, scholarships, and grants that you can have just for applying.
Enjoy the game, and we'll see you later on to put your game plan in motion.
No quit in Olive Branch. They score a touchdown with the backup quarterback Josh Cooley going in from 3 yards out. And now with 2 minutes to play, 28-14 South Panola. And the kicker, Weir, will attempt the onside kick here. The hands team on the field for Lance Pogue. Here's the onside kick. It pops up in the air and recovered by South Panola's DeAndre Harris. And he's got some of the best hands, not only with this South Panola team, but in the state of Mississippi. Very talented player. We've seen an awful lot of talent out there tonight. Not a bad attempt there by Weir.
You know, you got that late kick into the air that you want on your onside kick, but DeAndre Harris made that difficult catch look easy.
They'll spot the ball right at midfield, and if you're wondering, Olive Branch has only the one timeout remaining, so there's not going to be much they can do.
And I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, Greg. Rip Kirk's not going to throw another pass.
I would think you're correct. Rip Kirk has Darrell Henderson in the backfield. He hands it off to Henderson. Actually, that looked like Tavian Bibbs, if that was Bibbs. Number 6. It was Bibbs in the game. Good run by Bibbs, straight up the middle. He gains 4. 2nd down and 6. Clock continues to run, so Scott Samsel, the Olive Branch coach, has not yet used that final timeout.
It's been a while since Coach Samsel's had to give a "we got to get things back together and play another week" speech after a loss.
Well, you are absolutely right. That's a long time. 15-0 last year, 5-0 to start this season. Last loss was in the playoffs a couple of years ago.
To South Panola.
Shotgun Kirk, hands it off again to Bibbs. Bibbs will dance a little bit, and he's taken down hard by number 39, Bradley McCurdy, the 5'9", 165-pound junior. Ball right at the 45. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for South Panola as the clock continues to run. Again, he has one timeout left. I'm surprised he hasn't used it.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Rip Kirk back in the huddle. He's going to take his time. 10 seconds to go on the play clock. 36 on the game clock. Kirk again hands it off to Bibbs. Bibbs behind a couple tacklers. Oh, he almost broke it into the secondary there. Good tackle made by
Javadrick Mason.
Javadrick Mason, who may have saved the touchdown, but a first down, and that is going to do it. One more play. Let's see if the old Neal is in play. And
victory formation.
If it's victory formation, it's a good thing they're not playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Greg Schiano because you know you're going to get hit if that happens. They may not even have to snap it. The clock is winding down, and that will do it. The South Panola Tigers come in to Olive Branch, and paybacks are certainly fun for the Tigers. They lost last year at home to Olive Branch as the Conquistadors went on to win the 6A state championship with a perfect 15-0 record. But this year, returning the favor, the Tigers of South Panola, they win it 28-14. We'll take a quick break, wrap up things, tell you about our MVP. Again, you are watching the Olive Branch and South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network, presented by the United States Marine Corps.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The Great American Rivalry Series. 48 classic matchups nationwide. The biggest moments under the brightest lights. Hardcore great American football the way it was meant to be. In the stands and on the fields. Be a part of the action when the greatest show in high school sports comes to a town near you. The Great American Rivalry Series. Presented by the United States Marines. From Eye High. Who's your rival?
Welcome back to Olive Branch High School, where the visitors, South Panola, are victorious, winning 28-14. And folks, the members of the media here present in Olive Branch were asked to vote for tonight's most valuable player of the game. The votes have been tallied, and congratulations to the winner. Number 1, Ladarius Strong, the 5'9", 165-pound senior for South Panola, who had himself a game. Talk about the numbers, Trevor.
Well, if they played fantasy football in high school, he'd be the fantasy stud of the game. He had 125 yards on 31 carries with 2 touchdowns. He averaged a paltry 4 yards a carry tonight. But it seemed like more than that to me, Greg. More than 4 yards a carry on average.
Only 177 yards on the season coming in, and he got 125 tonight. Strong running, powerful running. He hit the holes hard. He was able to get some breathers when Henderson came in. Strong in 2 touchdown runs. Henderson had another, and then it seemed like every time he got the break, he came in re-energized.
And you can never tell the difference between Strong or Henderson, because they kept swapping them out very well by the coaching staff, keeping them fresh. And Strong is back. I think it's officially clear to say he's back from his injury.
Well, now we look down onto the field and recognize tonight's Great American Rivalry Series champions, the Tigers of South Panola. You see our Marines representing our armed forces, our heroes for this country, and of course, the Great American Rivalry Series and our sponsorship from the United States Marines. A very nice honor for these young men to be honored by true heroes.
And a nice trophy to remember this night. But just, again, a great thank you to our armed services that are listening across this broadcast tonight. Thank you for keeping us safe and for all that you do.
Yeah, we want to remind everybody as well that you can watch a rebroadcast of tonight's game on the internet at greatamericanrivalry.com. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up from Olive Branch, Mississippi in just a moment. Again, you're watching the Olive Branch South Panola game on the Great American Rivalry Series Broadcast Network, presented by the United States Marine Corps.
Few who move toward the sounds of chaos. Forged in the crucible of training, they are the first to move toward the sounds of tyranny, injustice, and despair. They are the few, the proud, the Marines.
I think the way Ladarius Strong played, he'd even be able to tote that big old football. That is one large football part of the Great American Rivalry Series, and I know the folks here really enjoyed themselves in Olive Branch. Now the home folks are going home a bit disappointed, but a big crowd, probably 5,000 strong, to watch this great rivalry, and that's why we are here tonight. And again, we want to salute all our armed forces, but the Marines who sponsor this great series. It's been extremely enjoyable. Now, Olive Branch has to pick themselves up, dust themselves off. They will stay nearby, but they're going to go on the road this week, or next week, I should say, to play DeSoto Central.
And South Panola gets to host Columbus, both division games, both very important. Both of these teams still have everything to play for. It's still in front of them. This is more or less for playoff seeding, this game tonight.
And who knows, down the road, they could meet each other once again in the postseason.
It'd be unusual if they didn't.
We've had a tremendous time. We hope you've enjoyed it as well. Again, we want to thank everybody involved with this production, the Great American Rivalry Series game broadcast, all the crew. They've done a great job bringing you the pictures on your internet, and all the folks responsible here at Olive Branch High School for allowing us to do so. So thanks to everybody here. My partner, Trevor Davis, I'm Greg Gaston, saying so long from Olive Branch High School in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Once again, the final score, the South Panola Tigers come into Olive Branch, and they knock off the Conquistadors of Olive Branch 28-14. Good night, everyone.